back to daddy when I Senegal. Daddy had a general, half to pay the lawyer just to stay out the federal. Big man pull up like a seminal, big gold chain on me neck, me and several. Make the girl hyper, half to settle down. Ginseng roof for the second round, knock out in the girl, rubber man take a gun. Alright, let's get right to it. Shout out to Wayne in the chat. This is Disagreeable, I am disagreeable, we are disagreeable. Welcome to Disagreeable. You see the title. We have like a little warm-up clip, and we're gonna go to the early chapters before we dive into the most recent chapters. Alright? So let's go here with it first. And as always, I don't review this before the show. Let's go.
Gave one of your awards away. Do you really give that to Wayne now? How does that work?
I don't know. I don't know if they can scratch out the name or whatever.
Is your name on it? Because they have to take it right and then put the name on it?
Well, I'll call them, see if they can put the other name on it.
Is it more of just like a head nod, or just,
I mean,
or would you actually physically give him the award?
I don't know where my awards are.
What?
I don't have like my awards in my house and stuff.
Why
I opened up one of the Grammys and just put it up and stuff, like just to like. But I don't have like my house. I don't have plaques. I have no awards. My greatest award is what I'm about to do. I'm always thinking about the future.
Right.
Only thing I put up in my house is like artwork.
Is your house a mess?
No, not at all. It's like the shoes are neatly covering the keyboard up.
Okay.
Like when I go to the studio, that's where I work. Like they had this thing on the internet right now. People was getting mad because I said I don't listen to rap in my apartment. Because my apartment is like too nice to listen to rap in it. It's like if you go into like a really nice spot, like
museum.
Yeah, museum or like the.
You'll be getting a couple people a chance to get into the room and whatnot, but it's not as important as the main interview we're gonna get to. But this is just equally as important for those who are here early. You know, hit the like button.
W or something, the lobby, it's just not gonna be playing like fuck you bitch, fuck you bitch. It's not gonna be playing. It's gonna be like they're gonna be playing like some like nice music. You want the atmosphere, Marvin Gaye.
Is that what your house looks like? It's like like that, like the W.
It's like a mix between the W and a museum. Somewhere it's museum-esque. You know, somewhere in between those two. So
with shoes on the
yeah, people was like, yo, you biting the hand that feeds you, all this. I was like, no, when I go to the gym, I listen to Jeezy or I listen to Jim Jones or Wayne or something. If I'm in my car, I listen to that. I'm driving fast. But if I'm in my crib and I rap every day of my life, people who work at Starbucks don't go home and fix themselves a coffee.
Right.
They be like, fix me anything but coffee.
Yeah. How are you? Like I feel like I don't know. I guess you've been through a lot of stuff, and I feel you know.
Like I'm about to die any moment.
I'm worried about you. I am. I'm gonna be honest. Like I just keep reading things about I don't know, your state and you're depressed and I keep reading things. I'm a little concerned about you. And then there's this drastic change in your music. Are you okay?
Like, are you okay? They're like,
are you okay?
Yeah. No, well, with the music, I feel like what's so crazy is people don't understand is that the music is still like really good. Like,
but it's way different.
Yeah, it's different, but it's like it's the music from my dreams and stuff, though.
I will say, I don't know if you intended to do it, but
I didn't preview this before I watched it, but pay attention. This is good. What he's getting into. It's the music from my dreams and shit. Now, this is when you made 808s and Heartbreak. Let's think about that as like people here who went to art and music and things like that. If you only about your bread, is doing 808s and Heartbreak at the time he did it a good idea? Is it a good idea?
You just me listening to it. It's a little, it's like a little dark. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think it's dark. But it's the type of music I really wanted to make. Right. I don't even like happy music. Like, you don't understand? Like, records like Gold Digger was so close to that making the album. Good Life was so close to that making the album. I listen to Portishead. Like, I like Diamonds. That's why I dropped Diamonds. I remember I came up here and played it for y'all. I was like, what y'all think? Y'all was looking like, I don't know about this one. I was like, man, you see, every time I come out with a first single, it represents like Can't Tell Me Nothing, Diamonds, and this time I just made a whole album. That was just like that. But Say You Will is dark, the first joint, but then it goes to this major chords. Like, so it goes from like Portishead World to straight like Elton John chords or something. Like, so these are songs that I dream about. Like, I made this album like I was in a dream state. Like Love Like Down, I just wrote it like freestyle it in 5 minutes.
Right.
I just heard it and just felt, because you know, sometimes you dream, you can hear a song all the way through, and what happens with your creativity is blocked by what society says you should do. You always overthink yourself.
I absolutely appreciate and respect you being able to do that, especially now where everybody's like, first single or first week, everybody's so pressed about what expectations, and you just kind of, for somebody to take a chance now in this day, it's a little harder, it's a little ballsy, more
well,
ballsy.
I don't have nothing to lose.
Right.
I have no loss. There's no loss that can happen to me. What can I lose? And
Well, whatever, you could maybe sell less records than you might if you went the traditional route.
Selling less records ain't gonna bring my mother back.
Right.
Like, it's nothing. It's like life is not. You're not living life to keep up with what you have. Like, some people worked. What's that whole saying about people work to live or live to work or something like that? Like, man, I'm just trying to live life to the fullest. So it's a success to me that I made an album that I can listen to in my apartment. You know.
Kanye is like a different Kanye. Is this a valid statement that I could?
Yo, holler in the chat when you pull up. You know, so we'll move it forward. Just want a couple people to be in the room.
Say that you're like a different Kanye.
Yeah. I'm just more.
I'm trying to fill you out. I'm trying to read you right now.
I'm just grown up. I just feel really, really good right now. I feel good because I really did what I wanted to do.
Yeah, good for you.
That's just like, you know. And I also feel good because.
How do you feel when you do what you want to do? And of course, whenever you go out of a box, there's going to be some also criticism, as opposed, you know, on the other side of that. Does that bother you at all? The criticism?
Yeah, criticism can bother you, but you should be.
Like I said, I don't preview these clips, but what I want us to do right now is I just want to show a couple different faces. There's a couple different faces of this person that we're going to be looking into right now. Oh, let me get this up here. One second.
Everybody in high school be like, yo, you acting like a fag. You acting like, dawg, you gay? And I used to deal with that when I was in high school. And what happened is it made me kind of like.
That's a lie. We all dealt with that. And no, I'm not like Kanye. But, you know, back in the days and like early 2000s and 90s and shit, that's just how niggas spoke. This nigga talking about he dealt with it. You feel me? That's why I feel like this clip is propaganda when he was getting into the game. But you let me know what you think in the chat.
Like homophobic, because it's like I would like go back and like question myself, like, damn, why does everybody else walk like this and I walk like this? So why is then you start just looking, because you don't realize until you're in high.
So you're saying that you walk like a gay nigga? I don't understand. I found this in my light preparation for the show.
High school, people like, yo, fam, look at you. Look at how you act. If you see something and you don't want to be that because it's such a negative connotation towards it, you try to separate yourself from it so much that it made me homophobic. By the time I was through high school, like anybody that was gay, I was like, yo, get away from me. And really, like Tupac said, started hanging with the thugs, and you look up, and all my friends were like really thugged out. And it's kind of like I was racing to try to find that constant masculine role model right there, to the point where it's like I would really discriminate. Like I use the word fag, like always condescending towards gays and look down upon gays. And I remember my cousin told me that another one of my cousins was gay. And at that point, it's kind of when the turning point where I was.
And this is where I think this is like slight propaganda. If anybody's in the chat, let me know. You know, I got black people in my chat. They really push this shit through the music and on movies and through all the celebrities that, like, you know, everybody black got somebody gay in their family. You know, well, I'm like, I'm not gonna say there aren't gay people in my family. I'm just saying I don't know who the fuck they are. Like, I don't remember nobody being flaming at like my family reunions and stuff like that. I don't remember from when I was a little kid. Maybe I just didn't know what a gay nigga was, but thinking back, I can remember what a soft motherfucker or like I can know what that is. I don't remember it. I feel that was propaganda they were trying to push on us. Oh, everybody, everybody black, you got a gay cousin or this and that. Like, we do? Where's this nigga at?
was like, yo, this is my cousin. I love him. Like, and I've been discriminating against gays. It's like, do I discriminate against my cousin? And then everything starts to click. He brings his partner with him to like Thanksgiving and all that.
I've never experienced that. Hey, black people in my chat, let me know. Have you ever had like a Thanksgiving or some family gathering and somebody, so your family, so let me, maybe my family's in shambles. So you guys who have families that are great and intact, when you go to family gatherings, there's some nigga showing up with another nigga in your family saying this is my boyfriend and stuff like that. You guys really deal with that? Because I don't think it's real. And here's another thing. Kanye is an interesting character because you're not sure where to place him in this box, because I understand what it's like to be an artist, a great mind, a thinker, and not being afraid to express your thoughts. You can sound, how do I say it? You're giving people pieces of things that aren't completely figured out yet when you're speaking. That is the deepest level of, like, people say, oh, that's why you sound crazy. You need to figure it out before you talk. No, I'm doing alchemy, and you should be doing alchemy with me. I'm giving you the highest level of honesty. And I give my highest level of thought and honesty. You give your highest level of thought and honesty. It might be lead, but once we mix it together in the pot, we come up with alchemical gold, or the philosopher's stone.
And you just had to sit back and think, like, damn, hip hop really is about, it seemed like it's about like fighting for your rights in the beginning, about speaking your mind and about breaking down barriers or whatever. But everybody in hip hop discriminates against gay people. To me, like, that's one of the standards of hip hop, is to be like, yo, you fag, you gay. Matter of fact, the exact opposite word of hip hop, I think, is gay. Like, yo, you play a record and it's like whack, that's gay, dog. If it's good, that's that hip hop right there. You see what I'm saying? It's like the exact opposite. So it's like me speaking for my entire culture, or me looking at my rappers out there, hip hoppers discriminate against gay people. Mm-hmm. They feel like they can't act. Hold on one second. Everybody, don't throw me off. I really want to say this. I want to say this to America.
I want to speak your mind.
No, he was just throwing me off just slightly. I wanted to.
And shout out to Kanye. These little things that you could learn. Don't be afraid to check a nigga or a bitch or anybody trying to interrupt your greatness. You feel me? Because that's the devil right there. You feel me? If you ever been about to come to epiphany and something distracts you, but that's that benevolent force.
To just come on TV and just tell my rappers, just tell my friends, like, yo, stop it, fam. Mm-hmm. Like seriously, that's...
And I'm not saying he's dropping knowledge right now. I'm saying what he's saying now needs to be said to show what I'm about to show. Because you can see who this person is. And this is not a dumb person, but this is not an evil person. This is somebody who definitely learns through experience and observation. So now when we get to the recent interview, we'll see, we'll come with our theories of why he's taking this position.
That's really discrimination. To me, that's exactly what they used to do to black people. I'm just trying to tell people, just stop all that.
Oh yeah, I'm not with that shit. That nigga put the propaganda icing on the cake with the last one, like, black people, gay people just like black people. No sir. No sir-ree. You feel me? Hit the like button if anybody's hanging around. Hit the like button. Let me see. I just it said I got 2 viewers, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get to the main part of the show. And I want some participation in the chat. Even if you don't participate, you're gonna get my goddamn opinion. So let's go. Let's just jump into it.
Hat forward or backwards? My hat, not the other hat. My hat. This way or this way? This is like the classic look. Yo, I've been trying to take off my hat for a while. You know what I mean?
Goofiest Jamaican of all time. Look at this guy, man. I didn't even mean to stop it like this, but look at this guy, dog. Look at him. And I don't hate Akademiks. I got a love-hate relationship with Akademiks, dog. But look at this goofy right here. A Jamaican tether who snuck his way into hip-hop through reviewing the crime element of a city through Reddit post and Twitter post. You feel me? A true nerd who should have no opinion on music or hip-hop or nothing. I've never heard a DJ Akademiks set, never heard him mix, never heard him do nothing. You feel me? But somehow he has the word and authority on hip-hop or some shit like that. And it's hard for me to say this because this is one of my Jamaican brothers, brethren from Spanish Town. You feel me? But look at him. I didn't even mean to stop it like this. He twirling his hair and looking at his cameraman like that. Them niggas is probably doing funny shit together. But that's not what this show's about. Let's go. What's good, Carmen?
Don't let it go over your head. But yeah, nah. Okay, you could get a good angle if I'm sitting here. Wherever you want. You can sit right here. Yeah. What do you think? Okay. So it's like magnetic. So one goes in here. Oh shit! I think it fell. Oh yeah.
Let's get to the point, Akademiks.
I should just stand. The best thing would be right here.
What do you think?
I should have to throw the boots on with it.
Have you worn this out in public?
Nah, you know the funny thing is I really wanted to wear it yesterday, but I thought they would like put me in a hospital for my outfit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like they would put me in the hospital for my outfit. So,
So even yesterday, I'm watching the video, and I'm like, who do you think? Like someone knocks on the door. That's what the tweet said, or the video said. Yeah. Who do you think that is, and what do you think? Obviously, you're saying things that how you feel at the moment, yeah. And some people might feel like you're ruffling feathers. But who do you think would care that much that they would want to threaten your life? Because you do feel like your life is a little bit threatened, right?
Yeah, I think I definitely when I start bossing up for my kids, I definitely feel. A second, let me just.
Thinking about going solar, but not sure whether it's.
My bad, yo. So, what are your initial thoughts? What are your initial thoughts? Let me know in the chat. What are your initial thoughts right now? Because to me, I'm not seeing a crazy motherfucker. I'm seeing somebody who's being very calculated and in a way that most people can't be calculated because they live in a level of fear, you know?
Yeah, I definitely feel that I was pushing life to the limits by pushing into the truth of like we know that wasn't surprising when I put that image up of my youngest daughter.
Yeah.
That wasn't like the most surprising idea, but it'd be things that happen that we know happen that we just can't do anything about. But then they push whatever agendas like on the media that they want us to focus on. And that's something where,
I don't know who the people are, so it would sound like real conspiracy theory. I just know that the kid from Lincoln Park got killed for expressing some of these same truths. And for me, just as a father, at a certain point, it's not about, it never was that, but when you're a celebrity, it starts to be about more of what fame is going to get you, what clout is going to get you, what money is going to get you over, is this the right thing for your children? And, I'm willing to die for my children or to allow them to be in this kind of environment that I know they're in. And what I noticed on the comments, they always used to try to, like, for the past 10 years, they used to try to write me off. Oh, he's so crazy, he's so crazy. I'm seeing the comments is now like 60, 70% like, yo, he's just telling you exactly what's going on. He's just the only one that's in a position to be able to do it, because I don't have any brand sponsorships. It's like I'm past cancel. So these people out here, they toying, they playing. It's interesting. The swastika, I want to just, I know we have a little bit of time. I want to tell you.
Now, for people who aren't too familiar with my show, you'll know that we can get pretty deep with the occult concepts here. So I want to put this thought forward. Put it this way. How do I gather this? It's kind of like slavery back in the days, Like, if you were like a janky, weak slave and you were acting up, they'd probably just kill your ass, You didn't cost much or whatever. But certain slaves were too valuable to the point they were sold off to harsher conditions, certain camps, or even shipped off to Jamaica, for instance, I feel like, how do I connect these things? I want this to make sense to everybody. And it will make sense later. It will make sense later in this clip. People like, let's say, at a certain point, yeah, they got Michael Jackson up out of here. But people like Prince, Michael Jackson, blah, 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 maybe they're just more valuable. Their life force, their essence, their spirit, this thing that was this endless novelty that was manifesting through them. It was too valuable just to squash out, So, just to fast forward, and I'll clarify this later, Kanye may be under some sort of enchantment. You understand what I'm saying? Because you can take somebody's natural proclivities and their talents and their natural thoughts and spin it and turn it on his head. Everything can be inverted. Everything can be turned satanic and shit like that. So I'm saying that he's going to be the beacon of truth. He's going to be the beacon of truth, but they're going to wrap it in a quote unquote crazy, put it in a crazy package, if you know what I'm saying. But I'm thinking out loud right now, because I'm not caught in any certain square yet. But let me hit the chat real quick. Wavy says Kanye is well aware of the power of symbols and imagery. He's definitely learned in occult themes of black and white symbols. Yes. Now think about somebody who is highly intelligent, highly creative, and they get into these circles, and they might see the evil sides of it. They see all this shit, but they're also looking at it as a mechanism. Why are they doing this? How are they doing this? Oh, this is how they're controlling the minds. He's been to the level where they're showing them a little pepper in the secrets, and he's an inquisitive, intelligent person himself. He's going to look into it. And when you're an inquisitive, intelligent, artistic person, you're going to take these pieces and these tools and put them together however you like. And that's where shit gets dangerous. When it gets to like the most powerful ritual you can practice is one that came from your own mind, your imagination, your own creation. But that's for a different show. We won't talk about that right now. Magical Family says straight propaganda. I'm open to that. I'm open to that too. But we'll go a little further. I'm gonna let it play right now. That being said, I still think he's an agent of chaos doing chaos magic. Yes, but towards what ends? Towards what ends. But we'll let it go.
By doing it, it's sort of like a magnet where people get so mad and they start exposing themselves because the Jews, they move in the tunnels. They move where you can't see them. They're the invisible hand, and they'll get like, what they'll do is they'll threaten people. They'll threaten people, oh, we're going to take your tours away. We're going to drop your artists. You got to say this. You like, how many people put, I stand with my Jewish people, 3 years ago. And what I did is I stood on it this time. I never backed down. That's my whole thing. That's why I was mad about removing, that somebody taught me into removing that Jay-Z tweet, because it was just like, nah, the whole idea is no matter what, I'm not going to back down. So by doing a swastika chain, it then ruffled some feathers. And then I really saw the comparison of me and Puff with the Diageo and the Adidas situation. Yeah. Regardless if they could have locked me up for taxes or not, they wasn't playing fair. Like, okay, cool, fair deal. You did good, we did good. It's like, no, you leaving with nothing. We have to destroy you. Even though they came and used us to tap into the culture and make money off of black people and people who enjoy black culture. If we said like, yo, you doing this wrong, you stealing my style, you taking all of my employees, you taking Jerry Lorenzo and making him do my same designs as he's the agreeable Kamala nigga. They started lowering the budgets for Puff. So I related to Puff, and then they pulled out a video with him and Cassie from 10 years ago. And then it made everybody be like, oh, well, Puff's a woman beater, so he's the devil. He needs to be in jail. Right? Meanwhile, I don't know somebody who hasn't gotten to an altercation with a girl at one point, and including Cardi. So now Cardi's like he the number one guy at Rolling Loud, and Puff is in jail. And then you got 2 women beaters and you got 2 supposed pedophiles. Watch this. You got 3. Watch this. Cardi, Puffy, Kendrick, the 2 pedophiles, Drake, R. Kelly, or supposed. Puffy and R. Kelly are in jail with Drake 5 years from now, or however long, when they feel like they really want to get that boy up out of here, they're going to play the Kendrick song. So that's how far they going. The Kendrick mix with the Universal, all that takedown of Drake reminds me of the No Diddy campaign for Diddy. Like, they going all out, but see, I know how to go all out, and I'm not even in their position. I just work on behalf of God. Like, how this shit comes together, the timing, everything is like a God sense. I had a couple things I want to say. So I pushed into the Puff song. I put my daughter on the song. The timing was so perfect. She went in, rapped it. She said, I'm getting sleepy. So she said, okay, good night. And that was the end. And she was giving me like the Lil' Kim on the old Bad Boy record. So that's why we put that. And the idea was family. It's so many people who dad actually killed somebody, and they would do anything to have their dad home. The two twins, and Christian, lost, their mama died and their daddy in jail. And everybody running around listening to murder music, right? But being like, Puff is the enemy. And when I see all these videos, all tapes, everything, Puff.
Let me say this real quick before I stop it for an extended time. I understand the point he's making with the Puffy situation. And if you didn't notice, you'll notice later, he has a Sean John shirt on with an interesting symbol on the back. I understand what he's saying with the comparison, but, you got to take that deeper. And just because this nigga knows something don't mean he's smart. You feel me? Kim Porter was evil, just like Puffy. They're doing the rituals. You feel me? The twins came from ritualistic sex. Look at Kim Porter's so-called audio book, the tell-all book or whatever. You feel me? And she was down with it. You feel me? I can't go that far. Niggas ain't ready for that right now. We'll do a whole show on like a deeper esoteric shit.
More like my twin. Me and him got into it because it's just like I'm telling these top 5 niggas, is like, yo, actually we probably could be friends, but nigga, you ain't bringing none of that shit over here, nigga. Y'all niggas ain't as crazy as me. And that's why I asked Puff back in the days. It's like, man, how you just made it through all this Suge Knight shit? He's like, I'm the craziest one, nigga. It's like, so once them people, we family, we can get into it. But they started taking that shit too far. I started taking it personal. at a certain point with Puff, like all of the media, because I wake up every day, whether I did something positive, negative, somebody got something negative to say. You know what I'm saying? So I relate to the idea of being torn down by the media. You know what I'm saying? But keep going. I know, because we got a short amount of time, I just want to hit you with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, so like the whole thing about, and even whether it's the outfit, the swastika, I think some people like, they feel like you're spreading hate. And
I'm sorry.
Encouraging violence versus people.
The thing that I forgot to say was, when my daughter was put on song, that's when I realized.
Yo, Halo, okay, Magical Family, you're in here. Let me know what you think about what's happening right now. What he does with his hands and shit like this. Like, let me know what you think about this. Also, Wavy, let me know. Anybody who like be on the esoteric shit, you know, their occult shit, let me know what you think he's doing right now. Hold on, let me take it right there. Right there.
Thing about, and even whether it's the outfit, the swastika, I think some people like, they feel like you're spreading hate. And encouraging violence versus people.
The thing that I forgot to say was, when my daughter was put on song, that's when I realized that I didn't own their name and likeness. So watch this. All the brands that I've made, I don't got the name and likeness ownership, or at least 50-50 with my kids. So how's it joint custody? My kids are celebrities, and I don't have to say so. So watch this one. So this white woman and this white family have the control of these highly influential black kids that are half the children of Ye. And that's just in everybody's face. And they was playing in my face like that. You know, I try to go to Champagne and keep it calm, and my dad would call me, say, "Hey, don't go in on that woman because it's gonna affect the children." But now it's like, it's war. Y'all niggas, they think they too powerful. The Jews think they too powerful. Think they could get Cardi to play with me. They think they're too powerful. They think they could get Kim to play with me. The Jews and the whites above the Jews. You get what I'm saying? That's, my life is on this shit now. These are my children.
Now, straight propaganda, or is it both? Truth and propaganda. Is propaganda wrapped in crazy it's truth wrapped in crazy to make it propaganda. You know what I'm saying? To make it nonsensical. It's like, 732 Wavy says, probably to better articulate his points through his controlled body language. It's value distortion. Iota says, this dude ain't say not one word or break his stance. He under a spell. It's funny, but I'm dead ass. That's what I'm saying. I think he might be under enchantment or a spell. I guess it's the same thing. But for these cases, I would use the word enchantment. Because it can, you're gonna see why I think this later. You feel me? But you know, it could be, we'll let it go just a little bit more. I got some questions for the chat.
Cardi, you could leave me off the album and do that faggot ass trap shit if you want. But now you mention my daughter, like the whole plan is that y'all gonna pull my kids into y'all, whatever the word is, Illuminati system, and I don't have no say-so on my kids? Nigga? And anybody close, whether it's the Jews, whether it's Cardi, anybody within my reach, I'm doing everything legally in my power, everything of my fucking mastermind. You get what I'm saying? That's why I'm about to tweet this shit. I want Kendrick to always remember that Jay-Z tweet before he ever crossed the line.
Okay.
Nobody that worked for none of these fucking labels wanted with the king. I am the Don. Lucian, don't send none of your motherfucking slaves. Don't send nobody, because they getting their head torn off. Quick. We ain't got no problem. Ain't no motherfucker. I'm the only king. I'm the only nigga that'll go up against these niggas. I'm the only nigga that survived through this shit.
Now, let me say this. Am I an ignorant ass nigga because I like how this nigga's talking right now? I'm like, talk, nigga. Yo, that's how I be feeling. Real shit. This is like my internal dialogue and shit. This is like my internal dialogue, dog. Yeah. Right there, that's like my internal dialogue. Hold on.
Fucking slaves don't send nobody, because they getting their head torn off. Quick. quick. We ain't got no problem. Ain't no motherfucker. It's I'm the only king. I'm the only nigga that'll go up against these niggas. I'm the only nigga that survived through this shit. You know what I'm saying? Me, pussy ass, faggot ass, pink polo ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never killed nobody ass nigga. Fuck all you niggas. All you street niggas, all you rap niggas, just any nigga that ever said something about my fucking hat. None of these niggas, Jay-Z, Beyonce, you ain't helped me when I fucking was having problems with my kids. You could have used your influence. No, your influence is for politics. Your influence.
Yo, this might be to be the Jamaican in me. He's burning fire. This is what like Rastas and shit call him burning fire upon the devil and shit like that. You just start talking greasy about Babylon and shit. You know, I like it. You know, 732 Wavy says him being a musician / magician is what it makes why he uses clan regalia. They were known as the wizards. Yeah, but you know, it's obviously like the leader of the KKK is the Grand Wizard and shit like that, and they have all the different levels. They're wearing, like, the Grand Wizard wears the black joint, and then they have the other nigga, the Red Dragon or whatever. This is all fucking occult shit. You feel me? You feel me? They thought, yo, when we were over here, they thought they were gonna just torture niggas with all this white occultism and shit. And niggas just turned up. People don't know real history. You think white people just let us just stay here and hang around because they were just nice and let it happen? No, we were turning up. You feel me? On every level. Magical Family says, righteous indignation is a slippery slope. Expound upon that. And when does it not become slippery anymore? Anybody can die at any time. You feel me? So if I'm sitting on a billions or just enough to be, you know, even if they freeze my accounts and all that, I got enough where I'm cool. Why shouldn't I talk crazy? Especially, I can't argue with him when he's saying like they're trying to take his daughter and move her into that freaky shit, have her online dressed like Ice Spice and shit. And he's not with that. His daughter obviously fucks with him heavy. He's trying to keep her on, not to be in this weirdo shit over there because he knows how weird it is. You feel me? Now, here's where it gets slippery and with the way I look at it. In order to truly expose everything, you gotta say what you did. In order to truly expose everything, it can't be allegory or it can't be a little hint. You gotta say what you did. You feel me? How did you get on the level? Was it pure talent? They're just using you? You feel me? Did he do the rituals? What rituals did you have to do? You feel me? You gotta just lay it all out.
This is how you could use a nigga you never wanted to sign anyway, that Dame signed. You ain't show up to my first fucking wedding. You ain't my family. I always wanted some kind of family. Never had family out here. So what the fuck? And then they take my actual blood family from me in my face. All right, so go ahead. I just had to get that stream of content. Thank you very much, sir.
Of course. I mean, I'm intrigued by, and I think people look at some of the stuff you say on face value. I see how, you know, there's three themes that come across with everything with you.
Yeah.
It's betrayal, it's being used, and your ideas, whether it's what you say or what you create, being censored. And I think every time I see it, no matter what you do, it falls under one of those. Like betrayal, there's a shit ton of people.
Yeah.
I mean, like even the Jay thing, you don't regret the tweet, because if he said something about your daughter, you'd probably be upset, right?
He should be upset. You know, I ask people.
Let me guess.
I was in the middle, in the background, you know, producing, trying to hook it up so Magical Family can come up here. But
like if I know somebody
let me get this. Wavy says facts. I don't know, did I read this one? Magical Family says, he'll show you what I mean in this interview as it unfolds. I'm happy to come up too. 732 Wavy says, facts. He's been in the black nigga freak offs and the white. Oh yeah, I was gonna say that before you. and the white nigga freak off. Facts. That's why he's been wearing masks ever since he got with Kim. You know what? There's different levels to the rituals too. You feel me? maybe he would just allow, you know, I don't know because I didn't do the rituals. So maybe they just allow him to be placed specifically, and that was his way to do the part of the ritual or the what's the other word I could use for it? It'll come to me. But him being placed with Amber Rose and putting, you'll see it with these women in the industry over and over again. Nigga, as men in the chat, just as a man right now, if you had access to almost infinite funds, would you be smashing the same girls that all your homies are smashing? If you had, and not even the baddest bitches, if you had access to almost infinite funds, would you be trying to smash the bitch that Future smash and all these people that you know and this and that? That's not natural. It's weird. You feel me? They're doing that for a reason. These are all people behind the scenes doing their rituals, and they're being placed for whatever reasons. You feel me? I'm not Satan. I don't even know how that nigga's thinking he's gay. I don't know how gay niggas think. You feel me? But yeah, he get with Amber Rose. He propels her. You feel me? Then Kim's falling off. She's in competition with the real elitist bitch. See, Paris Hilton don't really have to do mad rituals like that. She's from a real old money bloodline family, and they, you know, they got their MK Ultra personality factoring shit they're doing within the family. You feel me? But she was in competition with that bitch with real old money. You feel me? So Kim Kardashian and them, that family, they had to step up the rituals and the witchcraft. They couldn't fight with the money. You feel Big Bang take Little Bang. Then they had to get in the witch shit. Big cauldron take little cauldron. You feel me? Well, Crippy said, I don't think I've seen this guy around here before either. But shout out to Crippy. Hold on, let me see. Black KKK might just be a new movement. They try to do that already with the black identity extremists and shit. They try to make like pro-black people terrorists and shit like that. I'm like, yo, KKK been blowing up little kids in churches and shit like that. You didn't classify them as a terrorist organization. It's Jews that use the underground backhanded tactics. You know, usury, obfuscation, you know, the usual. Yeah, niggas are saying nope. If you have access, you got mad bitch, you're not gonna go keep. You can go around the world. You feel me? You can go around the world. You can go to like a little random villages in South America and find supermodels. You feel me? But you want to smash Amber Rose after that nigga smash Amber Rose, and these niggas are weird, bro. These niggas are weird. Just like, yo, and that's a perfect example. Just like with the bitch he's with now who's about to do him dirty. The Bianca Sansori and shit like that. Sensori or whatever. He's being used to elevate her. And she's from an elitist family. They use us, our natural talent, our shining, endless novelty as gods, you feel me? They use us to propel these people who don't even have any soul or anything, because as soon as you connect them to us, quantumly entangle them, you can propel them, and then they can have a celebrity status, they can have all this fucking bullshit by being nobody and by having zero talent and shit like that. You feel me? But I feel like I'm rambling, you know. They gotta share the sex magic. Creepy. Don't need funds to find a good girl. If you can't find it, you should look in the mirror on God. To find it. Okay, we're in 2025. This is not a woman's show, so we'll talk about that at another time.
That's woke. Like, I knew this girl that only like hangs around really super woke, like some of like fat black girl models, just like her friends type shit. And I was like, yo, you get
now disagreeables about nuance. That little line right there, that don't sound like MK Ultra. I know when a real nigga's talking and you just say some real shit, that don't sound like MK Ultra. That don't sound like control to me. I gotta look at the nuance to figure out what's going on here. It's not even in the excuse me, fucking blah blah tongue tied. It's not even in the intellectual statements that he's making. You feel me? It's the little things that's letting me know he's still human. So let me know what you think about that.
I knew this girl that only like hangs around really super woke, like some of like fat black girl models is like her friends type shit. And I was like, yo, you gotta tell me, you know what tweets y'all didn't like.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me what hurts so I could do it more.
Why?
Because that's when we're weakening the enemy. We breaking them down. All this, I'm a fat bitch on the runway. I'm so powerful. No, you're not. You're causing death. That shit is unhealthy. Let's do statistics on black obesity rates.
Yo, give me 1 second. Let me test this. Yup. All right, yeah. I'm setting it up so I can drop the link. Crippy says, I'm a E-Band Films subscriber. Bro, this got recommended to me. E-Band Films. Is that what I'm watching right now? Is that the channel this is on? No, this is not the name of the channel. I don't know who E-Band Films is. The more the word gets diminished, the more it's not real. I'm interested in what you're talking about. Expound upon that, please.
Everything that's being pushed in the media is about decentralizing and tearing down communities. Even I low-key feel like the ICE is like basically like doing to the Latin communities what they did to the black communities. It's everything to decentralize, remove the fathers. Also, I had this theory that I just wanted to say, wait a second, I have another theory. It's about football and music industry, but I want you to get that that Jay-Z answer. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody's like, what about the fact that everybody knows what I'm saying is true related to that photo that I put?
I'm dropping a link right now. Hey, yo, Magical Family, if you're in the chat. Magical Family, if you're in the chat, I'm dropping a link right now, but I also want to know what you think about what's happening right now. Is this somebody thinking out loud? A great mind? You feel me? You feel me? Because it's weird. I can relate to this. It's not that I do this, but I know there's a benefit in this. And if I had zero, what's the right word? I guess if public perception, if I had enough money, public perception wouldn't bother me at all, and you like just a total freedom, a lack of embarrassment, shit like that. All my thoughts, I probably would just speak them out loud all the time, because in learning and in doing new shit and acquiring new skills, even in figuring out your own thoughts, your own emotions, speaking out loud is very beneficial, you know? And the apprehensiveness we have is because of embarrassment, or we might think some resources might be taken from us because we express ourselves freely and openly. Let's go right here. Testing.
Yo, what's good, bro?
What's good? Can you speak one more time? Let me check if you're good.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody can hear you. All right. Now,
Okay,
now that you're up here, in your professional opinion, is this what I was just saying, or is this manic?
You're asking, is this manic behavior?
Is this manic, or is this just a great mind speaking out loud what I think I would do all the time if I wasn't concerned with what people thought ever, you know?
This is corruption in action.
Corruption of who?
It's value distortion, bro. He's warping values in a way that actually undermine the ethical coherence of them.
Um,
So so he's not speaking from a principled place. He's contradicting so many core principles that it's going to engender it enables corruption, and that corruption creates destruction. It's very destructive, and he's being used.
what
No
about
matter how he tries to slice it, it's like all of this at the expense of what?
but
At
it's
the
like,
expense of people's dignity, at the expense of his civility, at the expense of his capacity to ethically engage in conflict resolution. Like all those contradictions outweigh whatever the fuck he thinks he's operating from. And I'm not saying that out of anger, it's just clarity, you know what I'm saying?
I think, what do you do after those things that you just mentioned have been exhausted?
After all that's been exhausted,
Yeah.
it's not sustainable. Like all of those contradictions create value distortion. That's That's unsustainable, it's not durable, it's subject
Yeah.
to co-optation, it's subject to corruption, it's easily exploited.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
my audience is black. Define value distortion.
Value distortion is when someone is embodying values in a way that contradict core principles. In ways that contradict core principles. So you're doing this in the name of something, but you're contradicting so many core principles that it's actually distorting the value.
Are core
It under
principles individual for the individual and subjective, or no?
a lot of core principles are actually objective truths.
I would like to think that, but reality says different, or what's being presented
I
to us
disagree.
as reality says different.
Yeah, exactly. That's value distortion. Our socio-cultural climate has been pervaded by value distortion that has pretty much corroded the fabric of society.
Hold up, we have a dissenter here. Crippy says, "I'm a free speech absolutist. I am also." Crippy says, "Can the guy understand Ye's frustration though, or is he using big words to downplay Kanye's words?"
I'm using simple concepts that give people tools for discernment. So you can discern whether something's actually sustainable, durable, or ethically sound. Because when values get distorted, people end up getting corrupted, people end up being used. Okay. And that corruption creates destruction. It's not sustainable. This is why we are where we are in this country.
I I can't say I disagree with you, but I'm gonna play the other side. I have to ask.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have to ask. All right. For example, if you're somebody who's a noticer, and like, so let me give you a simple example. Like one time I came on and did the show, and I was like talking about my friend, but I was like talking shit to him, cutting them up or
Yeah, for
whatever.
sure.
And the
For
show cut
sure.
off. The show cut off in the beginning. I got email said I was bullying, all this shit. You feel me?
Right.
But at the same time, these platforms that are owned by these people who he's speaking of, you can do a goddamn murder carol on it. You can rap about the guy who just got shot yesterday. You can do the most wicked, repetitive death, murder, kill, mind control, and
Hmm.
that just flies all day. So how do you
Yeah.
address that when you can't just address it with the obvious? This is fucking obvious what
Right.
I'm saying. You know?
Right. Because they got the monopoly on value distortion, not your black ass. Know your place.
Okay. So are you saying that, let's say, value distortion is a type of ossification magic or distortion magic or
Yes,
whatever?
weaponized chaos. It's weaponized chaos.
Haven't we always been the masters of taking the worst things in the world and kind of making it our tool?
That's what I'm doing right now. We mining the catastrophe. We equipping people with the tools to be able to see this shit.
I'm not saying I don't see it, because like, it's very strange me doing this show. That's why I want to do it, because I don't have a position on Kanye, and it's always swinging back and forth. Maybe that's what it's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. And I don't have a position on them either. What I do have a position on is ethical coherence, right? Embodying values in ways that don't contradict core principles. That is possible. And anybody doing anything else is deceiving you.
Exactly what you just said. How would you explain that to a child? Ethical core principles. You feel me?
Ethical coherence.
Uh, uh,
Basically, anything is coherent because it harmonizes across principles. I could throw what I'm talking about against any principle and it doesn't violate that principle, right? That's true. That's true ethics. That's being ethically sound. If I'm actually appealing to a value or saying I'm speaking from a value, and once you get to the root of where I'm coming from, you realize that I'm contradicting so many principles. Matter of fact, I'm contradicting more principles than I'm actually aligning with. I'm distorting that value.
yeah, but I know you're an artist and I'm an artist, and often the existence of an artist is contradictory. You know?
Right, right. And it's time we get to the root of how pretty much people have been deceived, bro.
And like I
This is how it works.
want to play this a little bit more because I want him. There's something he says, and I want him to say it before we address it. So let's go.
Put up with my youngest daughter, right? But everything is like, but you offended Jay-Z. Fuck him. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Put it like this. Let's take it to money. How much money do you think Jay-Z make off my catalog versus what I make off it? Next subject.
Well, some people might feel like, well, like even with the situation with kids, I hear you speak about that a lot. Like nobody really spoke up on your behalf. Yeah. But even when you speak about Kim, people might be like, well, you picked her. Like you put yourself in that.
Absolutely, I did. That was my fault.
Maybe they're saying that you don't take accountability.
No, that was my fault. I didn't want to have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God.
Yes. I hear you stumbling through that, but make your full point of that.
I'm just pointing out that he's stumbling through being held accountable. Like all of this at the expense of his own accountability. Now it seems like he might be taking some of it, but that wasn't on the table. And he's having a hard time actually grappling with that.
So I'm hit it one more time.
Have children with this person after the first 2 months of being with her. But that wasn't God's plan. But my issue with all these faggot-ass celebrity niggas is, if you ain't gonna speak on my behalf of the situation I'm in right now with my children or where I was when I asked for the help years ago, don't talk about my political views. Plus your tea. Like, nigga, I bled for you. If nigga asks you about me, say we ain't speaking on Ye.
Yeah, let me comment on this. Halo. That's why I like he's under enchantment, but he's really on some like nigga shit. You know what I'm saying?
I actually feel what he's saying. And you've had rants. I've been a avid supporter of you for a long time, and like you used to go on rants like this, low key, on Instagram.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like my internal dialogue a bit. You feel me? So
I like this. There have been times in my life where I have really appreciated this, but I also understand how corrosive and insidious it can be. So I feel somewhat obliged right now at this juncture in my life to speak to what's actually happening. You know what I'm saying? Like what principle is this dude speaking from, bro? Like, I'm willing to entertain that. What principles do you think he's speaking from?
we'll let it play a little bit more because I don't think I missed it. I wanted to say something before we get into that.
All right, bet.
But when I was saying he's on some nigga shit right now, it's kind of like, I did this. I didn't put this in writing, but everybody who he kind of breaks it down number wise. Like, I put you on the map. I put you on the map. You just do me dirty here and there. I understand he just kind of like a nigga hurt. You feel me?
He's mad, bro. He's mad, bro.
And this nigga really the mastermind. Is really the king. Like, I can't say you just being bombastic and shit like that because you got the numbers to show for it. You feel me? You did it in multiple worlds. When it comes to the art shit in the pop masses world, you really that nigga. You feel me?
And you know what? I won't demonize his grief. I'm not here to do that. He's entitled to be angry for the transgressions he's dealt with. But is he arrested in that grief? Like, is he arrested at a point of anger to where it's basically corroding his own integrity? That's a good question to ask.
That's facts, and that can happen because you can be in a position where you see that your integrity has been detrimental to you in this world that runs on passive aggressiveness and a lack of self accountability and self observation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Then you become basically what you hate.
Hey, welcome to hell. That's where that's
where. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. It's my job to understand this shit and actually break it down to people. Like, yo, this is what's going on. Go ahead, bro.
Let me let this play a little bit more. And that's why I fuck with Halo, because I can have a poison view, but I can't really argue with them. So let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's how y'all looking at me like a Vic, because you a street nigga. But it ain't that time no more. I'm the lawyer off Carlito's Way. I'm the boss. You niggas is broke. You niggas is not masterminds. And you niggas should never have ever gone. Look at John Legend, old sissy ass. I ain't never do nothing wrong to that nigga. I changed generations of his life. And they got all that faggot ass hot sweater nigga come up and just, this nigga wears sweaters in motherfucking August and
This shit is funny. Like this shit sound like a high school locker room. You know what I'm saying?
This is nigga shit, dog. You feel me? Like,
This is the high school locker room in the hood, bro. Like we've all been there.
you feel me? Like, that's what I'm saying. I might not be mature. I might be at a low level because I like this shit. You feel me? This is funny to me. And I don't know if you heard earlier when I was playing his old interviews from 9 and 16 years ago when he did the whole speech about homophobia and hip hop and shit like that. And I wanted to play that first before I got here. You feel me? Because it seems like this is why I can kind of feel him. You try to play the square game. You try to be cool, play it right, or maybe I was thinking wrong about people, you know, maybe this and that, blah, blah, blah. And then you get slapped in the face over and they'll be like, nah, I was right. I was right. You feel me? You can't play with these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers are demons, dog. So I can't say I co-sign his presentation or what he's doing exactly. I'm just saying, like, what is the answer? You feel me? Sometimes I feel like chaos is the answer because we're the masters of, like, making order out of chaos in the end. Other people have a problem with the chaos.
I don't mind. I don't mind catastrophe. Matter of fact, my career is rooted in mining catastrophes, right? But what I focus on is helping people to pretty much um, engage catastrophe from a principled place because that's what actually creates stabilization. That's what's going to stabilize the situation. Everything else is subject to co-optation, corruption, it's subject to fucking falling apart, it's subject to fragility, it's subject to being unsustainable. If you're really in the middle of a mess, you got to find solid ground. And this shit ain't solid ground.
I feel like that's the nature of this reality that we're in. Period. Fragility, chaotic, unstable. You feel me? You might like
Right.
to.
The only things that last are principles. Matter of fact, if you can align how you approaching something across multiple principles, you are likely to be able to endure, be durable, and actually recover.
No, I feel like I don't know. That's another discussion. You know, I feel like principles sometimes are like in constant flux. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Values are. I would say that values are in constant flux because values at best are like these personal and cultural adaptations of principles. Principles remain the same. It's how we embody those principles, you know, that's what has to change because reality is always changing. So we have to refine our values all the time. The revolution of values ain't telling people what to value, it's equipping people with the tools we need to refine our values in the context in which we've been born and that we live.
I'm gonna let this play a little bit more.
Barbados, John Legend, and mashed potato. So, no, they say they smell like mashed potatoes. I don't know where I got this from.
No, they used to be your guy though. Like, so all these relationships,
Yeah.
are they repairable? Like even the Pusha, the Jay, the like. There's a long list. Even Cardi. Like I feel like, I know you say you want to hurt them, but you might overstep the line where maybe at a point Jay's like, man, I'm cool. Like I think after that tweet, he definitely.
Y'all all right?
And I don't know if these are relationships that's salvageable.
Why would I want to salvage relationships
Introduce us to a lot of people.
Why would I want to salvage relationships with broke ass slaves and slave herders? Like everybody.
You know, now I I gotta say this. I gotta say this. Hey, look, I feel where you're coming from right now, and this is a conflict within myself because I feel him 100% right now. And I feel what you're saying 100% right now. You feel me? What he's saying right
And
now.
bro, the cynic in me is what has pretty much made me empathize and actually even delight at times in hearing people speak to this shit from a raw, honest place, including you, right? But what I grew into, right, as well is at the expense of what though? At the expense of what? And I ask myself that question every day when I see shit in action.
All right. So what do you think is the snowball effect from this?
At the expense of what? His compassion for people, at the expense of these people's dignity. What the fuck Virgil Abloh did to him? Like, does that take away from his worth as a person?
Yeah.
Does you know? Does it?
Okay. Now let me. Okay. Let, let,
Does it?
uh,
So at the expense of his civility, he's not even being civil, bro. Like, how you gonna resolve a conflict and you're not even doing it ethically? You call it fat models, pieces of shit, or whatever you calling them. Like, they're just being used too. Like, come on, bro. Like, these are people.
okay. Okay. Also, let me finish what I'm saying. But welcome, Wavy, to the show. But go ahead. Test
What
your
up? What
mic.
up? What up?
What's good?
What up? We good? I sound clear?
What's
Yeah.
good, Wavy? It's been a while.
Yeah, what's good, bro?
Yeah. Before I forget, let me say this. Let me say this to you, Hello. Is he not kind of speaking on also self accountability at that point because these people are being used, but they're willingly living in delusion to go along with a evil agenda, malevolent agenda. You feel me? So where does self accountability come in? So everybody who's kind hearted, empathetic, and all this, because most of us, people who are especially people who are artists and shit, you're probably from a very you're not the hardest nigga. You feel me? You never aspired to be that, but you're probably a decently intelligent person if you have those two qualities going together, and you're looking at it logically. I have to become this, but you're saying, I understand what you're saying. You're degrading your true self by becoming to deal with your environment, but if you don't, you're food. You feel me? So how do you balance these two things?
You asked me how do I prevent myself from being basically eaten by sharks?
Yes.
Well, that's why society is structured in a way that protects a principled approach to life. If somebody violates me, I could literally leverage law and order to fucking orchestrate justice.
But we're talking about right now. That's direct and something that you could probably have evidence for. We're talking right now. Speaking of like espionage, you feel me? I'm speaking
But I'm just
of
talking, I'm answering your question though. Like, I can literally, justice is on my side.
what is justice? Who's gonna execute this justice? You?
Well, I can do my best to use laws and the court of law and all of that and contracts. And in the event that someone were to finesse their way out of justice being rendered there, God would deal with that. You don't fuck with me, because I'm not coming from a terrible place. I'm an ethical person. If you fuck me over, it's literally up for you. Like, it's over for you. And I've seen God do it. I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, and we known each other for a while, so I have the same experiences. You feel me?
Right.
But let me say, as much as how you're sounding right now, I know you're not a pushover. You feel me?
Oh, absolutely not.
You feel me?
Absolutely not.
So
I'm cold and calculated
how you know this nigga's not being cold and calculated right now?
because, man, he's being very reactive and he's being very insidious and corrosive with it. Like, you can
I was
actually
I was
sit
actually
back
gonna
and
bring that
scope
up.
out. You can sit back and scope out an entire situation and orchestrate some very drastic, devastating business that leaves everybody fucked up and you in the green. Like, you could do that.
If you have like a malevolent system, an AI, an intelligence, and egregor over everything, don't you need to be insidious and corrosive?
No, man, you can stand on principles and still fucking wreak havoc because these people, what they're doing ain't sustainable. If somebody's trying to fuck me over and they're fucking bringing all these contradictions to the table, bro, it's not sustainable. It's not durable. Like, I'm gonna be able to tear that shit apart because they're not gonna be able to poke holes in how I'm approaching the thing. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not doing it at the expense of anything.
Wavy, you want to say something?
Yeah, it was good. Was good. Was good.
What's good,
I,
Wavy?
shit, man. I'm trying to make sense of this madness too, but maybe that's the plot. Or that's the idea. But I mean, because you mentioned like, okay, is this like um basically like is this well okay? Let me. I was gonna ask this really. Is this theater? And if it's not theater, what is the end goal or the outcome of this besides what it's already happening with people reacting to it because this is going viral and shit like that? Because
Exactly, Wavy. Good
with
question.
and I'm a Kanye West fan, so I try to be unbiased when it comes to dissecting his psychology. Um, I on one end, I don't think this is performative because I've seen Kanye act in like small TV and movie roles. He's not a good actor. Like his acting is really bad. However, I believe that to make the movie real, you have to have real events to evoke real reaction. You feel me? Um, I don't know. I don't care much about his personal life with like the Kardashians and his children. I mean, yeah, it sucks to see, but like that doesn't interest me as much as where does he fit in this game? Because if it's not performative, and it's not there. This is real shit happening. Kanye's been in this game, and I'm like when I say the game, I mean like the brotherhood, high secret society, whatever. If he was this crazy and this reactive and this emotional and this impulsive, why would they allow him not only let him in the first place, but then allow him to live this long? I know I'm asking like a lot of different
Corruption,
shit, but
bro.
like you know what I mean?
Corruption. He's being weaponized by wicked forces. His own narrative and his own emotions and his own susceptibility has been weaponized. He doesn't
I
even
can
know
see
he's
that.
been deceived.
And that's facts. And I want to add
I can
to,
see that.
what you said and what Wavy just asked is because it's necessary. They're not that people who have like the level of influence and light, like there's something intangible in this world that people who understand true value, they know can't be replicated. You feel me? Like people who try to get out their box or like break their programming so many times, it's like when Michael Jackson was acting up earlier. Why not just get him up out of here? You feel me? You can't find another nigga like this. You feel me? And this is a great weapon for your propaganda, along for your money making. It goes beyond money making. But when you have the light of the world, you feel me? I don't care how people feel about me saying this, but it's just there's evidence of this shit. Well, how are niggas like the most hated in the world, but we're using every propaganda? How come we're always the one like, oh, the nigga votes the ones that's changing the presidency? What the fuck are you talking about? Like we can't do math with 13%. How the fuck are we flipping the goddamn the presidential vote and shit like that? I'm saying this is something that can be seen over and over and over again. So I just think it's valuable to make a long story short.
I would agree with that because if we look at Kanye West's career, I mean, me as a Kanye West fan, like his impact on pop culture alone, like not even just rap and like nigga shit, but pop culture alone would make him a valuable asset. He's changed the way artists make music, how people dress, et cetera, right? So I could see him being a useful idiot, but he doesn't seem like impulsive and emotional, yes, but I don't think he's an idiot. I don't think he's dumb. I don't think he's unaware. If he's being used, I don't think he's unaware that he's being used.
Do you think his influence is for the better or the worse?
Well, if you look at what he's influenced, I mean, well, he came because you gotta remember, right? He came into a time, he blew up at a time where gangster rap was the standard, and we know that gangster rap was a propaganda campaign to criminalize black men, blah blah, whatever, right? Private prisons. He came at a time where that was the standard of hip hop music. So he brought in like the suburban swag and like the black suburban experience, and he influenced a lot of artists that have come, the Drake, Cole's, Kendrick, whatever, right? So I don't think his influence is necessarily like, I don't see it being toxic as like say like a I don't know, like a Future or like a NBA YoungBoy, a Young Thug, promoting the more toxic degenerative aspects of rap or urban culture. So I don't think his influence is necessarily evil. However, I do think that if he is being used, or if his influence, if anything, they're using his influence for him to be a agent of chaos of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of provoking people, like he says offensive things, controversial things. That's been his whole shtick after like 2007, where he's gonna, he's provocative. So I think if he is being used and this is theater, then this would be an example of that. He's wearing a Klan outfit, and yeah, there's a cold symbolism and esotericism to that. Most people who are watching this interview are not gonna know anything about that. So that to them, they're thinking, oh, he's wearing a Klan hoodie and he's saying offensive things, causing chaos. And this is why I feel like they would use him, and that's what he is being used for. But again, and I'll just end it with this point: if he is, if he's not being used, and he's this crazy, impulsive, lunatic madman, why would the Brotherhood let him in and give him this much position? How can you trust someone like a Kanye West if you're in a secret society and you have like these evil, devious plans?
I think he explains and lays out that's why I was interested in this, because at one point he lays out exactly what he's doing. There's no mystery to it. Even if there's like occult significance and all that, he lets you know exactly what he's doing. That's why this is interesting to me. Let me get the chat real quick. Child of God, what's good? Child of God says, Luke 17:3. Take heed to yourselves. If thy brother trespass against thee, rebuke him. And if he repent, forgive him. Rebuke to criticize someone. Sharply reprimand? Yes. Rebuke to criticize. Rebuke to criticize sharply. This allegorical as well. Like, yo.
His doctrine, dude. I value discernment over doctrine every time.
Yes, sir. He talking about some scripture shit.
And
most people who are Christian don't really know what really is what's up with shit.
I'm not against the scripture though. You feel me? So
I'm not either. But I don't like when
either.
it's used on a surface level and people are just kind of like just quoting shit just to quote shit.
Like, yeah, is it rooted in true discernment, or are we just like weaponizing doctrine?
I'm just saying it's so like it can be seen from so many different angles. You know, people can fit it for what they want to fit it to at the time. You know, that's why.
I agree. And a good scripture.
And that's what he's doing. That's what he's bad. But that's what Kanye's doing. He mentions certain Bible quotes and references and stuff like that in his egotistical way. So it's like he's doing the same thing.
Right.
But I think he
knows
more than what he lets on. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right.
But even if he calls himself a so-called mastermind, if you're dealing with a world that's consumed with Abrahamic religions, you know how you connect with those people. You use those terms. You use Abrahamic shit. You feel me? You keep it simple.
I mean, true.
You work within their programming to program them. I'm not saying for good or bad, but that's what you're doing. But let me get the chat real quick. Crippy says, I got getting mad chats. Hold up. Crippy says, following God's judgment against Babylon, the Lord will once more have compassion on his captive people. He will choose Israel again and return them to their own land. God is a vengeful God. Yeah, and that's my thing with the book too, because people like to read what they want to read, but you know when he told the Israelites to go over there and get that land, you know there were people over there already. He didn't say like, oh, there's the land, it's there for you. No, he said, there, go over there, it's yours now. Kill everybody down to the fucking grasshopper. You feel me? None of the cattle, none of that shit could live, you know? And I'm not. That's just what he did. You know, God be bugging. Child of God says that was Jesus commanding his followers in that scripture. Okay. Guys assuming what I don't know about. Hate people like that. N-word, so full of himself. I wonder if this guy's white. He called you an N-word. Yo, Griffy. I hope he patted himself on his back after that comment. You feel me? Flying Low, the homie, says, great Kanye rant, but when he left and came back as a Black Klansman, I don't know how Act didn't bust out laughing for 20 minutes straight. That's how you know he's corny. You feel me? A real one would be like, nigga, come on, nigga, what's going on, dog? Child of God says, he's going at Pusha T, and people have issues with that, but he's doing exactly what was commanded. Anything that backs my position out the Bible, I'm with it. If a nigga cross me, don't do it. You feel me? Don't do it.
I got a question. I got a question for y'all too. About this particular interview. Really his. I don't know if you guys keep up with like the rest of his antics that he's been doing over the past 2-3 years, the Nazism and the quote unquote anti-Semitism, but I find it, the way I look at what he's been doing, it's like, he's exposing like Zionism he has been exposing Zionism, and I don't know if what I find a hard time, what I can't just like decide on is he being allowed to expose Zionism, or is he again just kind of just going against the grain? Because I've never seen, because usually in the celebrity world, because we know, you know, the Hollywood is ran by Zionists and the Talmudic Jews and all that stuff, Crowleyism and all that stuff. He's one of the few celebrities who have ever really put that out there with his platform.
Two birds can be killed with one stone. You know what I'm saying? And his thing was, I think they suppressed his original point, and I would like to come across that. You know, I don't say too much up on this shit, but he made a point early when he was making all his points and saying the Jewish shit. Him exposing Zionism was kind of a side effect to what was already going on. That wasn't his plan. He started talking about how come you can show all this ignorant black people shit? How come you can show all this violence and all this shit of us, but we can't say nothing about you? That shit can be on all. That was his original point. That they pushed back. Then he started speaking on other shit, saying these motherfuckers run shit. They're the ones that's putting this on. He's telling the truth. They don't talk about that original point, and then the Zionist shit being exposed kind of came from his point just being coming to fruition. He said, oh, they run everything. Then they're like, no, we don't run everything. Shut down all his bank accounts and all this shit. You feel me? That's a good way not to prove you don't run shit. But that could all be theater. You feel me? Because he got money now.
Right.
So I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just saying
it's hard with him to decipher what is theater and what's not, because he's a good performer, but he's not a good actor. But those two things are so intertwined in that field that he's in that for me, I can't tell where the theater ends and where the realism starts, and if the realism is just is an unintentional theater. You know what I'm trying to say? So him talking about all this Nazi shit and this Hitler shit is like, okay, is that theater? Is that like an aesthetic, or is this how you generally feel? And you know what I mean?
I'm gonna play it some more. Okay, I'm gonna let it play some more. But think about what you just said. How you generally feel, and what did you mean by that, and what connects to this generally feel? What do you mean? What do you mean by? Because wearing these things and saying these things means that you feel a way, right? Right. You would think. So just hold that down.
You would think anyway. Yeah, you would think. Yeah, good.
We'll come back to that.
He definitely. You know, and I don't know if these are relationships that's salvageable.
Why would I want to salvage relationships with
to a lot of people?
Why would I want to salvage relationships with broke-ass slaves and slave herders? Like everybody, so this is what I'm saying. The Jay-Z thing leads me to the NFL. Why do they want a Drake to be out of there? Why do they want somebody with no hits like Kendrick to do the Super Bowl, right? This is a theory I had. The people that run the Super Bowl had to come to people who run the music industry and be like, you guys, you're letting your niggers get out of hand. Oh my God, that Kanye. Would somebody take a knee for it? Where's he out of there? See, that's the problem. You let them last too long. In our league, they're for 2 years, 3 years, they're out of there. We deal with we got Tom Brady. He's great. We made Mahomes throw that fucking Super Bowl, so Tom could get his 7th ring and shit. But, you guys at the music industry, you got to do, start getting smaller artists and put them on. We're going to set you up. We're going to take Rolling Loud. We're going to connect them with Live Nation. And then we're going to get a bunch of small artists. And then, you'll be able to make your money off of that. And then, if we take, Cardi's doing good, we'll make them take the blue pill. We'll have them rap about skims. And then mention Northwest. We love Northwest. Kanye, don't worry about him. He's a lunatic. Don't worry about him. Does any of that sound right or sound accurate to you?
Yeah, if you look, it does seem like, I don't know if
I thought somebody was saying something.
It's that control, but you could see.
Wait a second. You don't think you can see my eyes through the mask right there?
Yeah,
you don't know if it's that control. Meaning, but
I'm the person who, again, I'm not gonna normalize me, and where like I'm the guy on Twitter, but I'm like, wait, you really think there's like this hidden hand that's really kind of moving in this direction, or it just kind of happens to be?
Do you think it's not? Do you think it's a possibility it's not? You think it's just all by chance and shit?
I would be opposed to it, but it feels like you know a little bit more. That's why a lot of people are intrigued too.
Yeah.
Because if probably one of the richest rappers ever is
Not probably, definitely, but keep going on.
when you've gotten to the heights, and I've said you're the greatest hip hop artist ever. When that person's then telling us it's like that, you then got to step back and be like, he knows definitely something we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're also trying to like watch you and even listen. Even if people don't like some of the stuff you say, they're trying to figure out connect the dots and really see what's going on.
If you brush your teeth twice a day.
We got Crippy in the chat. He says, Crippy in the chat says, I've been listening to Ye since 808s. I'll follow the guy until it's God do me death. You feel me? Is this a Russian bot? You feel me? And 808s is not early. How old are you? That's not early.
Hell no.
That's not early.
808s is that's I was in middle school. I was in 8th grade when 808s came out. So that's like you missed like dropout, late registration, graduation. Like you missed like critical.
See, I was a big Kanye fan early on when I was really on my hip hop shit. I stopped being a fan of all niggas later, like after high school. Fuck everybody. I'm making my own music. You know what I'm saying? But let me put it this way. If you don't know, because I can't find it till this day, since you're such a great Kanye fan, find me the track where he's using Martin on the hook. You feel me? He has the samples from Martin through the whole song. We can't even sit and talk no more without you arguing. If you can find that for me, I'll send you $20, nigga.
Why? What are you implying? That like?
No, I'm just putting a bounty on the song. I can't find that song anywhere. That used to be one of my favorite songs. It's not on any projects.
He sampled that.
Yeah, he sampled Martin and Gina arguing through the whole song. It's like very weird and artistic. Like it's just crazy.
Well, if I could say one thing real quick before you start the clip again, there was a point in. It's funny because Crippy or Crappy, he mentioned 808s. There was a turning point in Kanye's career musically, where his music got really dark. You feel me? And
his mother died.
Right. Well, that. But then also, and some people say that was the sacrifice that he had to make to get higher in the Brotherhood. Towards like 2010, like when like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out, when he started to incorporate more Freemasonic imagery, more like kind of he started playing with the satanic shit. Right? He has a song called "Devil in the New Dress." Excuse me, my bad. One of the lyrics he says, "I saw the devil in the I forgot what he said, but so after 2010, his mom died in like 07, I think, right? So, but 2010 is when he started to really play with this dark, satanic. He started tapping into the Luciferian energy, and as I was saying in one of my comments earlier, when he started playing around with the masks. Because he started wearing like a lot of these weird masks around like 2013 or whatever it is. I've noticed that the more you can. All right, what I'm saying is that there's a timeline where you could see where his music got dark, and the lyrical content got dark. But then he also started to imply this like he started to employ this like kind of like occult Freemasonic imagery with the mask and the like this odd imagery.
But Kanye is a biter. You feel me? So I don't know how much of that is coming from him and how much of it he's just biting
around him and
he's just biting from people.
He's influenced by.
Because I know people personally that he took ideas from. When I was like really out there doing my art, like personally, when he had the Donda team down here around us in Miami and shit, like it's like
he was fucking around with Ronnie J, who's from Florida, right? Miami,
yeah,
I think. He was fucking around with X, some shit, or
like,
after X died, some shit.
You know, I don't care about any of these people, but I knew all these people. You know what I'm saying? So. I just know that he's still stolen people's ideas. Like personally, people talk about it all the time, but he's just piecing together culture. So I guess you can say it's stolen, you can say it's whatever, but he'll take some shit and make it very, very similar or like a.
Right. Exactly, I mean, I understand that. I mean, all artists steal, but an artist in his position they do that. However, but my point is that.
I'll just finish what I'm saying. I don't want to forget this point.
My bad. Go ahead.
What it says. Your stream is cutting up. Your stream is cutting up because of the juice. Possibly, you know, it's not a good show. But
I mean, you sound all right to me. I don't know.
Right.
Everything's going good for me.
Okay, what the fuck? Oh yeah, I don't know if that point I was making connects to what I was gonna say. I don't know if he even wrote like My Dark Twisted Fantasy, Beautiful Fantasy, or whatever the fuck it's called. That shit. I think that's what really.
No, he
popped.
didn't. Pusha T and Sci High and Big Sean were writing that shit. I don't
I'm
care
not.
about where he's getting the ideas.
No. I'm not talking about the words. I'm talking about the visual aesthetic of what happened in the video. The Nephilim falling to the earth. The lamb. There's like things that are happening in the video. Did he put this together, or did he have some director put this shit together? Because if he didn't put it together, it don't mean shit to me.
But I would disagree. But here's the thing, though. To me, that doesn't matter because, in my opinion, when you are at that level of the industry, you learn about Crowleyism, you learn about Luciferianism, occultism, Freemasonry. So if it's not you, the artist who is, even if you're not versed in that stuff, the people around you will be. The directors, the songwriters, the whatever. They're all, because it's all one big system in which they all follow the same shit. So
you're saying the same
regardless
thing.
if it was his idea.
You're saying the same thing, but I do feel like it matters if it came from your own head. I'm not saying at some point.
Yeah, that's true,
I'm not saying at some point you're not initiated to that shit. I'm saying that if that's what pops you off, what gets you on early, I'd have to go back to look into the symbolism and all that shit to see how early it really started popping off. And even the bear itself, the bear, that might be symbolism in itself, because there's a clip. I wish I had this shit ready right now. It's super hard to find. There's a weird commercial or something where it's Kanye and he has a homunculus, like the bear comes out of him like a homunculus and shit like that with a string attaches, and there's mad occult symbolism in that shit. The commercial makes no sense with the product at all. You feel me? It's very strange. So I'm not saying he did that. I'm not saying he did that commercial. I'm just saying like he's definitely being used on a deeper level. You feel me? If they could control this nigga totally, he'd be like on some Lady Gaga shit.
Right, yeah, he'd be doing the weird. I mean, he did. All right, so my original point, the point I was trying to make is that it's not surprising that an entertainer at his level would be adorning occult, satanic, Luciferian, Crawley type principles, aesthetics. Because even with Jay-Z, he had the "Do As I Wilt" shirt, and that's his mentor. That's who he signed to and whatever. So for him to be wearing a Black Klans outfit and doing all this odd behavior, doesn't that speak to how far he's up in the Brotherhood? But here's my thing though, and it goes back to the point I made before. If he's that far up in the Brotherhood and he did what he had to do to get to that point, how do we know that like everything he's doing is not another Brotherhood agenda? Which is kind of what I can't figure out. Because if that's the case, then aren't we all just being distracted and like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'm not really just, I can barely understand what he's referencing because I don't give a fuck about any of these music relationships he's talking about, none of this shit. I'm looking at what's going on, your demeanor, how you're speaking, and nuance and shit like that. And to be from, I don't believe shit. So it's very strange for me to think that, because I actually do think this. I think he decided to do this. I don't think I think either he's under enchantment, he thinks he decided to do it, or he really did decide to do it. You feel me? I don't think it's some kind of like, oh yeah, you're part of the Brotherhood, you got to go do this shit right now. Like, no,
right? I mean, this doesn't seem poised or anything like that.
Yeah, this ain't really the play right now. But I'm gonna let it play some more because I thought the shit was shorter.
You know what? I'm a leader, and I channel, and I don't see everything. I didn't picture us being here right now. I didn't have this vision yesterday, but I had one bag with me. I just got my leather outfit, and it was there, so it's meant. And I always thought, wow, that would make a really iconic interview setting, and I'm happy that I'm not sitting in it. And this is now making the movie. Like I said, with the North situation on the song with his son and the new artist Jasmine Williams, it happened like that. Certain things I lean into. People think I'm strategic. The enemy might, my enemy, our enemy, might think I'm strategic. But I'm not strategic. I just lean into what I really feel. And I say my truth. and whatever comes with it, comes with it. But my truth is so obvious to so many people because people are not allowed to say their truth to the point where they psych themselves out to think it's not true. And then, so I'm not saying people's truth, I'm saying people's feeling now. Because your truth can be told to you, you could be programmed, but your gut is gonna have millions of lifetimes of information. So when I go and I tweet, especially now, I'm speaking to people's gut feeling. Like, Iggy, not taking sides, but she gonna do everything in her power to make sure Onyx, in general, celebrity exploitation. Like when my daughter wants to rap, it's a thing where, damn, you really wanna get into this game like this? And it's this balance. I had people around me, I was like, yo, this man Cardi is calling my baby mama, rapping about Skims, and then saying he need vocals. She may have supporting slip, needs vocals for the album. And the man was like, well, you know, that will blow her up. I said, it's my daughter, nigga. And see, that's the time when nigga hear me screaming from the other room and be like, why he screaming?
Wait, who said they would blow her up?
Well,
yeah, there's a lot of shit in this I don't care about. But I just want to make the point of how he mentioned iconic. You feel me? That's why I think he did this shit himself. Iconic does not mean good. You feel me? Infamous is also iconic. Like, when you got to look at this guy, like he's thinking in. I'm not saying he's not controlled. I'm not saying him as an individual. I think he's thinking in the same vein as like a Warhol, a Salvador Dali. You feel me? The nigga who wrote Dune and shit like that. If you never looked at like the making of Dune, or looked into like the life of Dali, or looked into like the so-called people who were quote unquote iconic, even though I feel like all these people were controlled, it was the abstractness of it. It was the shock value of it. It's Dali with an anteater. You feel me? It's what's it? I can't remember his name right now, but the original writer of Dune, the original script, is him giving his son to like a kung fu master for like 4 years to basically beat the shit out of this guy. Like he's mentally traumatized till this day from him sending his son over there because he said, I needed to make a warrior for this movie, for what I'm trying to do, for this imagery. If I have to cut off my arm to make this happen, I want this imagery and this idea to be projected into this world and this forever imprint burnt on the screen, on the LCD screen of life. You know what I'm saying? So
Fact.
I can understand what he's doing. And I don't agree with it because you probably don't give a shit about the implications. You're just trying to get your objective fulfilled, you know?
Well, that's what makes the movie or this theater play that much more real. I learned something recently, disagreeable, about like Hollywood and how movies are made. It's funny how you mentioned film, but I learned that in Hollywood studios, and I don't know how true this is, but I'm willing to believe it just because I know how Hollywood works.
I
But
purposely
they
didn't
say like
say the names and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, my bad. My bad, I didn't mean to press it.
real quick. So,
hold on.
what
I
they'll do-
just remembered before I forget. Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Okay.
Alejandro Jodorowsky. That's the guy's name.
Gotcha. All right. So, so what they'll do during the filming of certain movies and TV shows is that they'll have someone in the studio shoot off a gun to invoke fear in the actors for when they need to make a scene, when they need to, shoot scenes where they need to invoke where the concept is fear or to create a fearful environment. They'll someone in the studio will shoot off a gun, whether it's real or not. I don't know. Some people say it's real, some people say it's not, but they'll shoot off a gun to invoke fear in the actors, so that way the fear is real. So I feel as if when it comes to stuff like this, with someone who we're not sure is performing or not, Kanye may be really going through all this crazy shit, and the people that control him or the people that are above him, they're putting him in these situations or instigating these situations through the people that he's surrounded by, because they're all controlled, to make the movie more real, to further control him for whatever reason they need to.
Here's a question I have for both of you. Do you think he's has enough power to make himself this visible?
By himself?
We know that the machine can bury you if it wants to, but do you think he's transcended that? Like he's this icon that can really draw this much attention no matter what, no backing.
Yes.
Even
I
if
think
you,
his
Kanye, yes.
self-interest has been weaponized against him, and he's been co-opted by wicked forces that are using him in psycho-spiritual warfare. That's what I
wait,
think
well,
is
hold on,
going
hold
on.
on, hold on. You're kind of muffled though. Say that again.
I think he's being used in psycho-spiritual warfare. You know, this is beyond the limitations of his futile human mind. He don't have that much power. It's so much other shit going on the astral plane. This dude is being used. He's been deceived. This is spiritual warfare, bro.
See, I
Uh,
could agree with that on a certain level because the people that are above him, I mean, these Talmudic Jews and these satanic warlocks, they're beyond what this one nigga knows, right? He's learning from them, if anything. So I could definitely see that. At the same time, to answer like why I said yes initially to disagree with the question is that they have given him this platform, this level of fame where because okay, a lot of people like in the music world, like on the surface level music world, they're like, oh, Kanye's just doing this for attention to sell records, bro, or to sell shoes. And my response to that is he doesn't need to do that. Kanye has gathered a fan base that will he has a cult. The Yeezy cult is real. I used to be a part of it low key. So I know that he doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need to do anything to get attention to sell product because he can just say, hey, look, I'm dropping an album tomorrow. I'm dropping new sneakers tomorrow. Niggas will go for it. On top of that, the people that how do I say this? The people that hate him already hate him. So it's not like he needs to gain more attention from people who's not gonna buy any product. So I think this even goes beyond just like him selling something.
That's why,
You know what I mean?
and that's why I'm giving him credit because I think there is a danger in thinking, not a danger, but it shouldn't be asserted that just because these people are so-called in quote-unquote power that they have like a higher level of knowledge. You know, niggas are very inquisitive, and I can see a nigga like this who is super inquisitive, creative, and arrogant. Like to a like I'm more cautious in the things that I do when I study and shit like that. But I can see a nigga like this getting into everything and saying I can go all the way into it and come out clean. You understand what I'm saying? So, like I'm not saying he's succeeding. I'm saying the type of energy and attitude I get out of this nigga is the type who's gonna be like, oh, you can read the goddamn Keys of Solomon, you can read the Goetians, you can read all this shit, and this nigga's gonna try to play with it all because he thinks he's that nigga for real on every level. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't mean
I
exactly.
get what you're saying, but
Which
the
doesn't
thing
mean
is,
no,
like,
but I'm
oh,
not saying I'm not even saying that he's running shit. I'm just saying that maybe he's still under the codes. He still took the oath and all that shit. It's just getting very cool and interesting to watch because this is a nigga who's like kind of flipping a little bit of magic back on him. Even though he's still in this shit, I just feel like he's kind of he's kind of
he's an experiment to them. To
and I'm
them,
not saying
his masters looking at him as like that.
And here's why I can't disagree with Magical Family because I'm not saying he's winning. I'm just saying this is just interesting to me. You feel me? Just
Oh,
to
yeah,
really
for sure.
analyze and get past what just the surface of he has on the clown outfit. Because maybe we missed it, maybe we didn't get to it yet, but the whole the point he made about the clown outfit, like it kind of not even the outfit, the swastika and all that shit stands to me. He's like you all try. He's like the same point he made at the beginning that they've been suppressing. That you can wear our pain, you can make our pain cool, but I can't even talk about your shit. He's like, nah, I'm gonna ice this shit out. I'm gonna make it fresh. You feel me? You can make my pain, my destruction, like our addiction, our fucking family dysfunction, our history. You can. That's just all up for fun to make as much money off of it. You feel me? Then the niggas go to jail, making money off this shit. This is not the natural course of things. Niggas or people in general are not just attracted to chaos. If you look as early as soon as like the early '90s. Niggas weren't even wearing chains. Niggas were wearing fucking leather medallions and African wood beads and shit like that. And that music was selling just as much as the destructive music. You feel me? The same way that there's old wiggers walking around right now, there were little wigger Tribe Called Quest kids walking around who were just fucking wanted to be nice. They didn't want to be fucking thugs. You feel me? And the music made just as much money. So it's beyond money. It's really it's really pure destruction. So, and I understand what Halo's saying, but that's why I keep coming with the counterpoint. When you know this is what's being done, nobody cares. Nobody cares if you say it eloquently. Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand what I'm saying here eloquently. Okay, this is what I mean. See this big swastika chain on my decisive out shit? That's what I mean. That's what I was saying. But that's what I was saying eloquently in the first place.
I get what you mean. Yeah, I mean, I mean, again, like Kanye's one of these characters. Like he's out of all the celebrities on the world stage, he's the one that I can't quite like figure out. Is he on what side and what is he doing? What's the motive and what's the end goal? Like he's the one that I can't figure out. Everyone else, like with like somebody like I don't know, like any other celebrity interview, you can tell when it's like a press run where they're promoting a product, they're saying it's scripted. But with him, as because he goes off in tangents and he rambles and he comes off very emotional and passionate, which
That's
may be
why
a performance.
that's why you
But
have to take account of what's being said, and this is what most people in life, but especially a nigga like this, you need to read the nigga like a book. What was said in the earlier chapters and cross reference what's being said now,
right,
because
yeah.
it's a continuous line. You feel me? I'm saying
Yeah.
that there might be
And
a lot
he's
of
been like this.
there might be a lot of bullshit in there, but there's a continuous line of the idea at the core, or maybe dare I call it the principle? You feel me? Let me
Right.
know, Halo.
I mean, we have yet to actually identify what principle he's speaking from. What principles is he operating from?
I identified one. I just said that the swastika motif is a protest and a radical
Okay, but
protest.
like, but what is that rooted in? What basis is that coming from? Like, what truth is that rooted in? Are you
That
talking about honesty?
yeah, that's what do you mean that's not the truth? You have a whole system of control by one certain people from a certain
Okay,
tribe who pushes
cool.
black pain, and we can't even talk about your shit. So
Right,
if you don't
right,
understand what I'm saying eloquently like a regular person, okay, I'll make it visual for you and I'll make it striking.
right. And that's at the expense of his own transparency. That's at the expense of other people's dignity who aren't even Jewish, right?
I don't
That's at
understand.
the expense.
I don't understand what you're saying right there. You got to explain that.
So like somehow his agenda that's targeting the exploitative paradigm of Jews is um, pretty much undermining the dignity of fat black women. It's undermining the dignity of and worth of Virgil Abloh's design legacy. Is undermining the dignity of John Legend. You know what I'm saying? It's undermining his own
Okay,
integrity.
okay,
This dude said he believes
but
in
those
God
people
and he
he
did
feels he
Jesus
has
is
out of.
king and all this shit, and now he wants to come out saying he's evil. Like that's not integrity.
I mean, but to be fair, I hate to sound like a fanboy, but like apparently those Virgil and John Legend has crossed him in some way where he felt like he needs to do that. I'm not saying it's right, but that's why he's undermining
And
them.
you can say, yeah, and the illusion of the necessary evil. All those contradictions don't outweigh, like his honesty doesn't override accountability and responsibility and compassion and civility. His honesty
I
doesn't
get what you're
override
saying,
that.
but he doesn't give a shit about that.
But
Like
that's
Accountability
the
to
honestly,
that's
he
who?
the
doesn't.
problem. That's the problem, and it's not coherent, bro. It's
Accountable to
not
who?
sustainable.
Accountable to
Hmm?
who? Accountable to who? And who defines the
I'm
who?
talking about that moment. I'm talking about that moment where Act told him that, hey, you're not taking accountability for something, and he stumbled across that. You know, I'm taking a record of this conversation. I'm thinking about everything that's been said in this entire conversation, right? Because he's just spinning these things. All these things are undermining the integrity of his honesty.
I get what you're saying, but we're also dealing with a character who is
But I don't
extremely
care.
narcissistic.
I
And you don't
don't.
have to care, but I'm
Yeah,
saying this is like okay, we can't expect uh, a moral stance or like anything like that from a character who has shown to be amoral this whole, or at least for the greater span of their performance on the stage. So
right.
like,
And I'm not here to demonize Ye. In fact, I'm one of the
mhm.
biggest Ye fans. I mean, I was listening to Ye when I was a kid. You know, so I really appreciate his artistry. The reason why I'm here and talking about this is because I'm doing my best just to help people see how value distortion operates in our lives and in our community. Okay. This shit is corrosive and it's insidious and it's everywhere. And a lot of people do shit and talk shit in the name of values, but they're actually undermining their own ethical like coherence in doing that. What they're doing isn't ethically sound. They're undermining the integrity of the principle they say they stand on.
You're using
If
words
you
Okay,
like
really
but
look at,
Halo,
hold on,
oh, go ahead.
hold on. You're using words like compassion and civility, um, empathy towards like.
No, compassion, civility. Okay.
So what was the other one? Did you say another?
Integrity, integrity,
Compassion, civility,
civility, integrity,
and integrity.
integrity, and peace, even.
So
But we don't have to
so
go
so
into peace. We could just call it, we could just say integrity. I could just say integrity, and it takes away his entire argument.
so this is like getting into some kind of like conversation about word violence and microaggressions and shit like that. That's where we're going with that.
I mean, he could say, no, he could say whatever he wants, bro. I'm just helping people to understand that if you think this is a means to an end, who does it really serve? And what is it at the expense of? You know,
I'm,
is
I,
this to advance your own self-interest? Because that's pretty pre-conventional and
yeah,
it's
but
really limited.
I'm not saying it is a means to an end or it isn't. I'm saying if you know a different approach, articulate that. Than just saying that his approach is shitty.
You're asking me to tell everybody how Ye
No,
should approach his problem?
not even his problem. Just like let's keep it simple to the one point that I made over about his original line of thinking and where this extremeness comes from now. It didn't start extreme, you know. So
Hmm.
since your point's not getting across and nothing's being changed, where how would you approach it if you saw that as a problem that needs to be considered? That black pain is a fucking something to laugh about and dance to, but I can't even talk about questionable Jewish pain. I can't even talk about it.
You could you can talk about it. You can certainly talk about it, and you can talk
So
about it with
I can
clarity. You could talk about it with compassion. You could talk about that shit.
talk about it. Let's go to the next level. So can I wear a swastika chain?
If you want to, that symbol has been used for great things.
So
It actually has history and good things.
there's no problem with that. I'm trying to get to where the problem is, what he's doing exactly. Pinpoint where because you usually don't come in this intense. So I know you're passionate about
Oh,
this.
I know.
So I want to
Oh
know
yeah.
where exactly this is emanating from.
This is emanating from when people are weaponizing values, okay, in ways that actually undermine the integrity of those values. And I think it's necessary for people to understand that because that's how people get corrupted. I am on the front lines of psychospiritual warfare. Somebody might hear what I'm saying and realize when an entity is attempting to corrupt them, to weaponize their own emotions against them, to weaponize their narratives against them. And then they think they're standing on something that they value. When in actuality, when they look at it, they'll see that they're contradicting far more principles than what they're actually standing on. And they have been tricked, they have been deceived,
How
and
do you
it's too
break?
late to come back from it.
So how do you compassionately and tactful like how do you get yourself out of maybe we're not in physical bondage anymore, but let's say we're in a techno slavery. You feel me? A neo slavery. How
Hmm.
in the original
I agree.
slavery, as much as they want you to think that it was like niggas being beat and white people freeing us, no, we were turning the fuck up till niggas couldn't ignore it anymore. That's how it went. You feel me? So I don't understand how we're supposed to get out of mental slavery by just having conversations with people who playing with you. They not all this talking, all this fucking 45 hour that I love put through my life trying to talk to a person who's really a piece of shit. You feel me? I got to get say it how it is. Because if somebody's playing with you for that long, they're not trying to come to an understanding. They're not doing mental and verbal alchemy with you to come to the alchemical gold of epiphany. Then you're wasting your time, and they're actually being
Yep.
they're the real devil. You
Yep.
feel me?
I agree.
So,
I agree.
but
And you shouldn't even don't even
hold on,
entertain that
hold on.
motherfucker.
You already did trying to be compassionate and to say and not see it for what it is in the beginning. You already played the game.
Exactly. So check this out. Check this out. My compassion doesn't override that person's dishonesty. It doesn't override that person's lack of integrity. It doesn't override that person's lack of whatever they got going on, right? And when I see that, I don't feel obliged to being, having grace for them. I could just move on. I don't have to be available to that. I
Okay.
choose a more principle first paradigm. I'm only alignment creates access in my life, and clarity is currency in my life.
Yes, and that's why I gave the original example where you're not in this free world. You're in bondage, which I think we're in bondage. I don't think this is oh, everything's all cool. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. You feel me? Maybe you can. I don't want to get too deep with it. Let's keep it mundane. Let's keep it mundane.
Okay, cool. You know, I
We
like having these
yeah.
conversations with you. We kind of like, you know,
So I
we
see it
kind
as
of like balance each other out.
I see it as bondage, and the only way that we got out of chattel bondage was by turning up, and they had to turn it into something softer. You feel me? Maybe even more insidious. But we put a disruptor into the technology that they had at the time. This is what disruptor is about. This is what disruption is about. It's good to shitty systems. You feel me? No matter how you got to disrupt the system, disrupt the system. And I'm not saying on some anarchy shit because a system that already derives on chaos, meaning you going in, burning some shit down or doing some super shit, that you're not doing anything besides that. The only real the only real destructive force you have is your voice and your
And
ideas.
Dr. King
Okay,
disrupted the
okay.
system.
I gotta cut in with that because this is a question that I've asked myself about specifically Kanye. If he is this disruptor, this glitch in the matrix, as he's called himself, and he's been doing disruptive things
I
for
didn't
a
even know he
long
called himself
time.
that. I didn't even know he called
Yeah, he
himself
did. His 2013. It's actually funny because his he had an interview back in 2013 when he was dropping his album called Yeezus, which had a lot of like pro-black, very militant themes. However, it did have a lot of how I call it, like occult military. He's been combining this like occult thing with like the like military and racial dynamics for a long time since that album. But even back then, he said like, "Yo, I'm the glitch in the matrix." Like he's been basically saying he's been marginalized and suppressed and oppressed and blah blah blah. Okay, for someone of his level of fame, Kanye's arguably, and I'm not trying to sound like a fanboy, but he's arguably one of the most famous people on the planet. Probably next to like Trump, Obama, who he has connections to. He's infamous to say the least. He's probably one of the most infamous people on the planet.
Okay.
For him to have that much to his name and to be this much of a influential and impactful person, why have they allowed him to live this long if he was truly a threat? I don't think he's a threat if they've allowed him to live this long, despite all the controversy and truthful, real shit he said. Like I just feel like he's like an agent of chaos that they push and they allow to live to do what he's doing, because otherwise he would end up like Michael Jackson. And maybe that hasn't happened yet, and that part of the script and the story in the theater is yet to come. I don't wish death on nobody that hasn't done anything to me, but I don't know. It's weird. I'm just confused as to like why have they allowed him to live unless he's some kind of crazy, occult science experiment or something.
I'm not saying this is why, but I just want to put this idea out there and let to the chat and everybody thinking about this shit. We look at people like this, so he's supposedly one of the most famous people on the earth. I'm not gonna go against that. But when it comes to power, he's like an ant. And the true monarchy, these true Saudi families, these true people who we don't even know. They're not the Saudi prince who's sitting on the side of the ring at the fights and shit like that, who's running the whole Emirates. No, I'm talking about the real hidden people behind that. If you look into true what white people come from, monarchies, feudalism, when you look how the monarchy really went down, the buying of babies, the creation of homunculus, making a little weird person. You get a baby and you grow it in a box and make his arms and weird and make his head like a fucking box and shit just to have a little weird thing around your court.
Nigga say you grow him in a box.
That's facts. I'm not being bombastic at all right now.
No, that's just funny.
So look at what we're dealing with now. These people who are still behind the real bread in the world, like, oh, Elon Musk, he's so rich. These people don't got no fucking money. It's fucking Bezos don't got no fucking money. People who really control shit, they have such the monarchical mind is so sick you can't understand it. So what we think, so we're on this level looking at Kanye, the president, Trump, and all these people like they're powerful and popular when these are just their little toys.
Peons.
I
agree with that.
I put him out here to do this. That's cute to me. It's funny. Look at our Kanye. You feel me?
Exactly.
I can agree with that.
He's a vehicle of their own corruption, and it perpetuates their destruction.
Well, that's
For
why
a
I was saying
price.
he's an agent
For a
of chaos.
price, right? What's the price?
I mean, think about this. Like, this interview is gonna go This interview is gonna circulate for at least the next like 3-4 days, because they know that with them allowing him to do this is going to keep the people on the ground level distracted and confused and divided, as what his goal, as what he's used for. So it doesn't surprise me that stuff like this happens. I'm not denying. I agree with what you're saying is basically what I'm trying to say. But I'm just saying, like, why? What I'm trying to say is, how long does this go, and where's the final outcome to this? If it's not death on his part or whatever, because I want to see where this movie goes.
We're just observing, but like I said, like that's why I can. Here's the strange thing. It goes about me like Magical Family talking about things being in flux and shit like that. Look how many different angles I'm talking from at this conversation from, and I'm not fighting for any one of them. How do you have a position? How do I even express this? How do you have a true solid position in this world when you are a true free thinker? As soon as you're in your box of comfortable thought, you ain't thinking about shit. If everything continues to be comfortable for you, you're not thinking about shit. So I'm not agreeing with anything. I'm not agreeing with Kanye. I'm not disagreeing with you. Or not. How do I even say this? Because you're observing it. How do you live in this state and not live in all states? I can't. This shit is so fucking big that I can't even pause. That I can't even describe it.
That's why they say everything is everything, right?
I can speak for myself. I think that's a really good point to make. And when it comes to what I've chosen in life, I've chosen to develop, you know, I've chosen to develop myself. I've chosen to develop my surroundings. I value development. So I recognize what laws are conducive to that. And I will do what I need to do to stand on those and preserve those laws.
Personally, I can't speak against it. You feel me? Like I don't respect it because I don't understand it. You feel me? I don't. But I can't.
Understand what you're saying.
I understand it, but it seems very ambiguous and subjective and personal. You feel me? Like it's something
because it is personal. That's how he chooses to live his life.
I understand that, but I'm not against that at all. I'm just saying that you can say that with conviction, but it's hard to be understood with conviction. You understand what I'm saying?
Is everything meant to be understood on a personal level? Like with Kanye? Like
no. I'm not saying everything. I'm talking directly to Magical Family. He came up here with a certain level of passion, so that's why I asked that question. This is not ambiguous.
What I'm talking about can be understood because it's basically post conventional faith, bro. It's to keep it simple. It's a principle first paradigm that thrives in harmony across principles. Okay.
You think
everything I'm doing in my life right now is pretty much intentionally crafted to harmonize with as many principles as possible. And it's really fun to actually do that with people.
Where do you derive these principles from? You feel me?
They're objective truths. You can do the research and see that there are certain things that are just objective truths.
Name one. We cut off. The internet gone. What's up?
You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I was saying like one example would be integrity, right? You can't argue about what integrity is. Coherence between beliefs and actions. That's integrity. Or honesty, right? You can't really argue about it being honest. Like these are objective truths. These are objective principles, core principles.
All right. We'd have to have a standard for truth. We have to have a standard for truth if that's just going to be a
lowercase t. Because remember, like I was talking about earlier, there's a context in which these principles come to life, and that's in our narratives, in our surroundings, in our community. We have to actually weigh these principles against the context of our lives, and that's a consistent process.
Are principles built off historical data? Are principles built off historical data, observations, experiences?
That's a really good question. I would say that most of how we tier principles.
He dropped out again.
But if that's the case, what the white
Hold
man
on,
has
can
been
you hear me
doing
now?
to,
Yo, hold up. Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
hear me now? Can you hear me
yeah,
now? I
yeah.
said I think that's an interesting question. And on a surface level, you can say yes, right? On a surface level, you can say yes. And then there's a more eternal level where certain things just are more enduring. Certain things are just more sustainable. You know, you got like angelic choir, you got like the principalities. Now we're talking about like the ninefold celestial hierarchy. This is spanned across generations. I didn't make this up.
Let me ask you this. I like to get shit played. If somebody told you you had to kill somebody else, or they're going to kill somebody that you loved, what would you do? You couldn't call the cops and shit. What would you do?
If somebody told me I had this person don't control me.
Okay, so you're gonna go. So you're making no. You're not playing. You're choosing not to play the game.
Yeah, I'm not. And this I don't have to buy into that. What's coherent about that? And what principle they operating from? Like, what's that about?
I'm just giving you. I'm giving you a direct hypothetical with no outside. This is just like left, right, A, B. What do you do in a situation? What do you do in a situation like that? Because I didn't.
Like if
Because
so, I can tell you this. If I'm walking down the street with my mom and a dude pulls out a gun and points it at her, I'm going to kill him.
that's why you just made that shit simple, bro. That's why I gave. That's why I. Of course you're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, I'm going to do that. That's justice. That's
It's, it,
preservation.
it's justice is also like the like the virtue of selfishness. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, mate, not really. Not really. I wouldn't call that selfish. This dude that's unchecked. That's unchecked harm.
well, see, disagreeable trying to do to you, Halo, what he did to me that one stream we had when all three of us was on. He was telling me, "Oh, would you save your drowning mom if it meant some crazy shit?"
Right.
Like,
But I already told him, my grace doesn't override someone's lack of integrity, someone's sordidness, you know?
No, I'm just saying that you might be put in positions where the negative thing to do might be um, convoluted with the righteous thing to do. You
Yeah,
understand what I'm
and
saying?
may God have mercy on my soul.
And to see, then when it comes down to it, when the questions get hard, God comes in the building. You know
But
what I'm
that's
saying?
real though.
yeah,
But
that's
that's
true.
real though.
That's true. Niggas
But
start putting
that's
up
real
God,
though.
but
That's
but
real
like I
though.
mean, people look at God as the ultimate form of morality. So I mean, you can't blame people for going to God when it comes to like these super high moral questionable
Right.
situations.
And you know what? I do my best to not even be available to distortion in my surroundings. And I'm not saying that that's avoidable, but I don't necessarily have to put myself in a position to have to act from a place of that ain't ethical. I don't
Okay,
I shouldn't even be in a position like that.
maybe I didn't ask this question correctly, so I have to simply. Um, how did you develop your current ethics? If it's not in the
How did I
cumulative,
develop?
yeah.
I
So
had to be I had to go through some shit. I had to be scarred, I had to be stabbed, I had to be thrown in jail, I had
that
to be
same
burned.
that same shit could have made you go the other
Yeah,
direction, though.
for sure, but like, you asking me how I got to this point, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this is my answer to that question. Like
Okay.
I had to go through some shit. I had to learn how to discern what the fuck I was enmeshed with or what I was around. It came with a price. I asked God to bless me with insight. I ain't know the price I was gonna have to pay.
So wait, are disagreeable? Are you like alluding or trying to insinuate that like morality is subjective to the situation?
No, but my inalienable truths are not. There's not a shitload of them. There's not like a whole bunch of a lot of. It's not a lot of things. I
Like
don't even have.
moral laws and shit.
I really
Yeah,
do appreciate that about you. And that's part of the reason why I've always loved engaging in dialogue with you, you know, because we've been able to really get to like the root of some very essential things with each other.
it's all about having an honest conversation. You feel me? Like you're always gonna come to epiphany when you like are not lying. You feel me? That's why I feel like
Right.
it's a waste of time talking to fucking liars. You know, people who are not honest in the conversation or with themselves.
Right. You're proving my point, right? You're unavailable to that level, that kind of incoherence. You're not even going to entertain that.
Yes, but not to big myself up or anything like that. I've been told over and over again I'm supposed to be some type of, and I feel it. I'm supposed to be some type of teacher, leader
Bro, you're blessed, bro.
on
Bro,
some
you're
level or some
blessed,
shit like
bro.
that. But I
I
don't
know
want to
that.
lead motherfuckers. You
But
feel
you
me?
are, nigga. You can't, it ain't your fucking decision, nigga.
But how do I get into this shit for lose track of what I was gonna say? Um, oh yeah, when it comes to these things that are like inalienable truths, I don't even know. I don't even know if it's morality. I don't know how to define it, but there's not that many things. Just like don't fuck with the kids. You feel me?
You know what
Don't
I'm saying? I feel that.
don't fuck with the kids, and just don't fuck with people who don't want no trouble. You feel me? If somebody don't want no trouble, don't fuck with them. You feel me? And even if somebody wanted some trouble, if they back down, let it go. But that's like my only. That's like my only shit right there. Even that last one is questionable. That
Yeah,
last
that
one's
last one
question.
kind of questionable because you shouldn't open up that can. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the motherfuckers. It's like you opened up, especially in my 20s. Niggas used
I'm
to try me. Oh my
I'm
God.
I'm trying to take it to I'm trying to take it to a level of enlightenment. The first ones were basic. Now I'm like, okay, that's a level of enlightenment, but let's stay away from that shit. That's why I'm saying it's subjective. Like people gonna, I don't know. Here's a good example on like on the women shows and shit like that. How do you deal with somebody who just trying to destroy you and break you down and gaslight you?
Oh, I start actually exposing their value distortions. And I dismiss them. I did it to Shorty.
But you still got bitches poking your tires with sharp objects.
No,
You
no,
still,
no, no, no. That's not happening. No, that's not happening. God's been good to me. I'm good. I'm good.
well, for some reason, we haven't had a conversation about it yet, and this is not that show. But the last time we had a real conversation, you were kind of in the love bag, and then you popped up on the show, and you were like, you feel me? So I need to know. I need. I,
And I think
so,
we might be talking about two different bitches, because I be loving hoes. So it'd be a whole nother ball game sometimes.
man,
But I'm
you know,
slowing down with all that, bro. I'm really slowing down. I'm doing so well in life. I ain't got time for bitches right now, bro. I'm just gonna ball out for a while.
just start a family, dog. You're supposed to be the Huxtables or whatever. The real life. You're supposed to be bringing that shit to fruition.
Nah, bro, we got some shit to do, man. We about to be in, foreign country on a yacht and shit. Mark my words.
It's only a matter of time. But real shit. People know my show isn't like a regular good YouTube show where you expect me to listen to this whole interview and not talk to the homies. I'm way more interested in what my homies are saying than what this guy's saying. I know he's Kanye, he's famous. I don't give a fuck about this nigga.
Yeah, I mean, it's been relevant though. Like we talk directly to this energy, and if we let it play some more, everybody's just gonna see. Everybody's just gonna see the shit we talking about.
Yeah, because I did want to let it get towards the end, but I want to let it get there organically. But to be real, I just don't give a shit. I'm being real. I just wanted to. There was another point I wanted to be made at the end because somebody who was around him and anybody who has eyes to see, you can see this person as some type of witch. You know what I'm saying? Spiritualist or some shit like that.
Bro, I watched this interview at least twice already. I've already come to my own conclusions. I just wanted to hear because when I saw because I don't get YouTube notifications to my phone. So when I was on YouTube, I saw you talk about this. I'm like, oh, I gotta see what the fuck he gotta say. Talk refer to you, but yeah, I mean, bro, obviously, bro, like this Kanye shit, bro, like it's all just theater. I mean, it's intentional theater or unintentional theater, but regardless, like life still goes on. Like this doesn't affect nobody's lives. I mean, the only thing is I will say this, and I wanted to make this point earlier, is that if Kanye is really influencing people to wear like White Lives Matter shirts and swastika shirts, yo, that's some race war propaganda type shit. Because
Bro,
he
I'm
was
gonna have
So
to. I'm gonna have to
supposed.
interject, bro. I'm gonna have to interject,
Good,
bro.
good,
I'm
good.
sorry. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I used to be like, oh, this doesn't affect people, you know, before I started doing what I do for a living. And let me explain something to you. I am a psycho spiritual cleanup crew.
Uh,
When all of this shit comes to the surface, when people lose their fucking shit, they get lost in the sauce of all of this bullshit that's being prescribed through the algorithm.
from
And
right.
they
what
are wrestling with that shit. They are lost in the sauce of that shit. and they're drowning in that shit.
What do you do for a person who's been fully propagandized and demoralized? It's a miracle that I'm not, and I am to a level. If you think you're not at all, you're out of your fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? But it's a miracle that I could even
Nigga,
think
we all drinking
a little
fluoride
bit.
water.
Right.
So somebody who's 100%
Really controlling.
demoralized, propagandized to the point where they're just breaking down. And all they can say is like just catchphrases. Oh, they ain't like us. Hold them goddamn liberals.
Exactly. All that shit. All that shit. All that shit, nigga. You want to know what I do with them?
Give them shot. Give them drugs.
That's part of it because I do have prescriptive authority, but that's besides the point.
Let's
You
keep
know
that
what
Oh, you
else
the
low.
I do?
plug. You the plug for real.
Yo,
You the big plug.
don't let these people watching me. He don't got no power. He's an actor. I'm lying.
All right, all right. I got some questions for you. So a person like that, I'll say, hey, I'm hearing that you're really convicted about a lot of different things. What are your values? What are your values? And then a lot of time they stumble across that. They don't know what the fuck they value. And then I say, well, how do you decide if something's worth you valuing it? Then a lot of people don't even get past that. Some people have an answer for it. A lot of people don't have a
Wait,
clear answer for
Halo,
that.
Halo, Halo. I got a question for you. I got a question because you're into the psychology realm
Oh,
and
for
the
sure.
occult realm.
Yeah.
So, what is your opinion, and how would you treat someone of satanic ritual abuse? Like
Mm.
there's a real individual. Like they came to you,
Hmm.
tells you, hey, look, I was involved in a cult. I got they did all this. They did a bunch of crazy shit. They got abused. They were young. Their psychology is fucked up. Their psyche's fucked up. Their morality, their lens of morality is off. Like they don't know
Yeah.
what like you know what I mean. Like their morality is not. I know it's hypothetical, but like let's say like it's someone who does not know what the fuck is right or wrong because of the
Right.
way they grew up in, and they grew up in something that they didn't have a choice in. Like, what is your opinion on that, satanic ritual abuse, and then also, like, how would you treat someone like that? This is a random question. There's no like rhyme or reason to this shit. I'm just curious.
I really appreciate that question. And what I would say is it really depends on how that experience is affecting their functioning in day-to-day life. And I
Right,
know
like how
that
they
may not
communicate with
sound like
people and
it's,
shit.
yeah, and I know that may not sound like I'm answering your question, but that's
No,
really
it
how
isn't.
I approach it. It starts like, okay, well, how is this affecting your functioning in day-to-day life? And we
Okay,
have to start there.
when it comes to therapy, what kind of things can people admit to you without you being able to like go turn their ass in?
Judge.
Oh, you can tell me
Yeah.
anything. You can tell me
Anything?
all kind of shit.
I
You can
heard you
tell me
can't.
anything. Yeah, but I am a mandated reporter. I am a mandated reporter. If you tell me that you're gonna go kill somebody, okay?
Oh yeah, that's probably something you want
Like
to
I have
report to
to
the
report
authorities.
that. If you
So
tell me that you're gonna kill yourself, and after I do a very thorough assessment and I recognize that you're fucking serious, I have to low key get you
Okay,
detained.
but
what if
I
they said
understand
they?
that. Like that's like
Hold on. What if they said they did it already?
That they already
oh,
killed somebody.
Yeah,
ooh,
or touched a kid or
Ooh.
something like that.
Ooh,
yeah.
is that
What
person?
do you do as
Is that
professionally in the
kid alive? Is
morality?
that kid alive?
Yeah, let's say it's alive. Is there a difference?
That's nigga disagreeable, dog. Oh shit! I mean, I'm a mandated reporter, bro. That's abuse. That's child abuse.
Okay, so they can't just come in and tell you anything. Be like, oh, I'm serial
Yeah,
killer
I'm
on a week on
abusing a
a.
child and not. I like fuck that, nigga. No, that child is about to get saved.
I ain't know the serial killer gonna lay down the therapist. You're like, yo, I'm on number 137. I can't stop.
That'll be an interesting bit, though. I might actually fuck around with that on some cinnamon shit.
Well, the reason why I asked that because honestly, bro, I think we come across people like who have been in those situations in daily life that we if you're not like super well versed, not to say that I have confirmed, but I feel like I have low key.
Oh, you
But
definitely
how do
have.
you?
You definitely have.
But how do you like? How
Because
do you deal with those people on a psychological level on your end as a professional? Is what I'm asking.
well, I have to understand, like I told you, how it's affecting their functioning, but also like what are the things that they picked up from that they actually still resonate with? Like, what are they carrying? How's it affecting
Mm,
like how they make sense of reality? Because I'm not here to tell somebody, I'm not here to like debunk what the fuck they went through. I'm not here to like
right,
do any of that. Honestly, I'm here to understand like the context of your situation and how it's actually affecting you and how you, number one, meet the demands of your life, but engage with others in your environment and accomplish your goals, right?
right.
Like we
Like, do
have
you
to
use
we have to get
witchcraft to
into all
like?
of that. Yeah.
Do you
And
use
then
witchcraft on a daily basis? Do you like freaking
right,
crazy shit? Yeah.
right. And then like what kind of results are you seeing in your life from this shit? Like what is this shit actually
Doing for you that's
engendered in
tangible.
your life? Like
Yeah.
you value it, but like at the expense of what? Taking it back to the beginning of this conversation. Is that at the expense of your integrity? Is that at the
Right,
expense of
right.
your
And I was actually
honesty?
gonna say, like, do you think Kanye is a since this kind of bring it back to the stream theme, but
Oh, if I
do
meet
you think
gay, it's a wrap.
do you think he's like okay? Well, I know you're well versed in the culture, no disagreeables too.
You're gonna have a really good conversation.
All right, but I mean, but also, he's like a puppet agent, so like he's gonna give you a script, and I guess you could use your discernment to go through to
Oh,
see
for
through that
sure.
script.
We'd be good.
But like with someone like a Kanye, I can't help but feel like he is a victim of satanic ritual abuse because he
He is,
exhibits a
bro. He
lot of
is,
that.
bro. You want to know how they get people? They catch
Yeah.
you. They catch you at a point where you're vulnerable. They catch you at a
Like
point
when
where
your mother just died
yeah, when your mom just
type shit.
died, you're energetically fatigued. You're who you typically consult with is gone.
Right.
You're
You're uber successful as well.
yeah, you're vulnerable, right? And then
Right.
somebody comes in and they throw a value-based proposition at you. They act like they're acting in their values. I'm here to help you, bro. I'm here to make sure you're good. You know, let's get in the gym. I'm gonna be your trainer. Now, this is real
Right.
Yay fans know
Right.
this happened, right? I'm gonna be your trainer. We're gonna
Right.
train and we're gonna do this shit. And then the moment you start catching on to the fact that this motherfucker's an agent. He
Right.
calls you and be like, "Yo, I'm about to put you in the hospital.
Are you sure you're okay, man?
You sure we're gonna put you in the hospital. You put the red
Trying to
hat on,
gaslight.
you're going to the hospital." And then
Right.
before you
Which
know it,
which I could
St.
see.
Pablo tour is shut down. Ye's in the
Right.
fucking hospital at UCLA. You see how it happens?
Yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For
I
sure.
made this point before. Like, this is why I kind of like can't be mad at Kanye, because when it was happening, I was speaking to other people about it who were saying he was crazy, and nobody could see what I was saying. I was like, yo, they just kidnapped a nigga for 2 weeks and said he was thirsty, and so he was dehydrated and said he was thirsty, so he had to be kidnapped from off the
You know
map
what I'm saying?
for fucking 2 weeks. That's programming and shit. They did something grimy to that, and the fact that it happened in front of everybody and nobody can see what I see, and it happened to him, and he kind of like, you see how he was like fucking fat and medicated, and he looked all kind of weird in the face when he came out. And then the fact that he shook that off a little bit, and he telling everybody to suck his dick, yeah, I fuck with that shit, dog.
I respected, honestly, I respected that. And I was like, yo, look at Ye being fucking resilient, bro. Like these niggas literally threw this nigga in the hospital, shut his tour down. Okay. This man came out and then started fucking with James Terrell and shit. You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, I'm gonna come in with this perspective. What if that was a part of the theater? We don't know what the fuck is really going on with these niggas, these celebrity niggas' lives. We don't know if that's even true. We don't know if Diddy's in jail. And I'm only saying, and yeah, I did hit the blunt, but I'm just saying, like, we have to think about, like, what if this is all just performative theater? Are the storylines like, oh yeah, like you never really know if that's what they want us to know or not. You know what I mean? On that level.
I'm just like, I just use context clues for what I'm looking at, and like when that happens, and then like you said, he's not a good actor. He was fucked up when he popped back up. You feel
And you're
me?
right, bro. He is a biter. Like he bites. I mean, I
He's
already heard
probably
the
thinking from
story.
like biting. My bad. But like
Go ahead.
the Michael Jackson story, right? I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. But
You
like
good, bro?
I had to think. I had to say this because I look at Michael Jackson's career similar to the Kanye career, where where like there's this arc of like child star. You know, Kanye wasn't a child when he blew up, but like let's just say like child teenage star, high level fame and success and musicality. Then the crazy era. What if he's just mimicking that what if he could be a part of that? But what I'm saying, what if it's a mimic of that? Like maybe they studied that arc.
No, I
to
gotta
where they
push.
can apply it to
I
somebody.
gotta push back from that idea you're having, because where does the crazy ever start? They said he was crazy back when he had on the fucking polo when he said George Bush don't care about black people. They're saying he was crazy back then.
I mean, that's true, but they thought Michael was crazy at a young age too, when he started adopting weird animals and you know, just his wealth and the success
Yo,
that he had. I granted,
Nigga, they think we crazy. They think.
yo,
that's true.
if you think Michael's crazy, let me get money, dog. I mean money like that. You think Michael's
I mean,
crazy?
Michael was like, but they
This
said
nigga
like, I mean,
disagreeable, dog.
right? I know, there's crazier people out in the world, but I just can't help but feel like this could be that. Like, oh, let's take the tropes like a Britney, a Michael, but let's apply it to a black rapper who is whatever.
Nigga, you ain't never had monkey money, dog. That's just different.
Oh, shit.
Giraffe
You
money.
freeze yourself in a bro. This nigga had a whole fucking zoo in
roller,
his house.
roller coaster bread. You don't got roller coaster money. I'm telling you. I'm just saying, like, we can't judge something like that. It's a reality that we can't understand. You feel me?
Right,
That,
you're right.
that,
And I understand that. You're right.
That's why all that stuff and him saying like that shit wasn't weird to me. I climb in the trees and I write songs, nigga. If I had a giant house and I'm a songwriter, I probably would climb the tree and write a song. You feel me? Like,
Oh hell yeah, nigga.
like,
What?
like none of that shit's weird to me. That's why I only listen to the real nigga shit he said, and he said a lot of real nigga shit. And I'm sure they would like to get rid of him at some point. That nigga was saying like kick me, kike me, don't you black or white me. He was talking about the full propaganda of the system, but the only thing they really cared about in that song is when he said kick me, kike me. You feel me?
Which is what Kanye is kind of saying, but and again, like this is where I like, okay, is this real or not? I know I kind of like derailed the conversation you guys were having. My bad, but it's something to think about before we get into like this whole like, oh, he's real or he's not real. Like,
I want to make one more point. And here's a reason. This is my theory why it can be so ambiguous with definitely melanated people. It's because they can't fully manufacture that, so they're trying to contain something. They're trying to, now they're getting to the point where they're fully manufacturing, and it goes to my whole theory. Like, you've heard me break it down before about the degradation of black art and music. You feel me? To make it something that they can do. You feel me?
Right.
Fucking, you know, I don't got to go through the whole thing, but it's been degraded. So this guy, so these other people can say they can rap and they can dance when they can't. They're doing they're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not tapping into the chaos field. You feel me? And they're trying to stop people from really getting to that level. And now they dumbed it down to like anybody can do it. You feel me?
Right.
Anybody can do it. So now they can put people directly into these positions and use them as full-on robots or whatever, because we're an idiocracy. You feel me? You couldn't fully control a motherfucker's talent back in the days when you're coming from like the era of like hip-hop being born in New York and niggas really reading books. They're putting shit into their music, be it real or not. They're talking about like Dr. York and the fucking shit's slipping my mind right now. But you know the Azra Society. You know what I'm talking about. The same shit that fucking Jay-Z was a part of. All these people, because if you were in Brooklyn and you were reading books, you were influenced by people. Be them. But I'm saying be them grifters or not. I'm not saying those. I'm saying be them grifters or not. They're still spinning real knowledge. So even with you being exposed to it through a bullshit channel, you're still being exposed to it. So even if you snap out of that, you're still reading, and then now you're seeing your own knowledge. Now you're getting your own cross references for that. You're still having an intelligent person. The vocabulary was high as fuck. When I was a kid, I was learning new words from listening to rap. I didn't know what the
absolutely true.
It was all raising. It was all raising vibration on a certain level. The shit was so high vibrational that even the violent shit was lit like on some on some inspirational shit. That turned at a certain point. That wasn't sustainable. It turned at a certain point. But I'm just saying, like, I'll wrap it up right here. It's just I feel like there's an energy that they're trying to direct with us that they can't control. They're almost to the control point because it's full violence now. When you took love out the music and all that shit was full uncontrollable. Now, and I'm gonna stop right now, but that just made me think of something. That's an interesting concept right there. People think the wild shit, the fire, you feel me, the gunshot, the violence is the chaos. Maybe the real chaos energy and the uncontainable shit is the love frequency.
Facts. And honestly, disagreeable, you fucking killed it and you nailed it with that what you just said. Because black artists in entertainment in Hollywood have always had an edge to them that the white man could not truly replicate. Like, where's the white Kanye West? Where? And I'm not trying to shit on white people. I'm just being real. Like, where's the white Bob Marley? I mean, you can say like, okay, there's been like John Lennon and like Kurt Cobain, but that's still very surface level compared to what the black artists have put in the messages and the understanding and the overstanding that they put in their music and their lyrics. Like, I have yet to see a white artist that have been able to replicate that level of truth, understanding, and wisdom.
I'm just saying to even the social effect, because you'll see like they have popularity, and maybe they'll have like some, niggas in Japan don't even know who the fuck Beyonce is and shit like that. So maybe niggas will have a certain level of popularity, and they even talking about white people, but they don't like. Firstly, Bob Marley's music, be him a controlled guy from his grandfather being in the Royal Navy and all that shit. His music was still his music was still causing civil conflict in Africa. You feel me?
Right.
Somebody from Ireland.
Get up, stand up.
And there's other shit, just like Ali saying that he's not gonna go to war and fight like shit. Niggas like the subgroups of niggas around the world, the Asians, everybody was getting inspiration from that shit. You feel me? There I don't see there's any like direct equivalent of the counterpart. I don't really see it.
Now we're talking about the fruit of the black experience. Now we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about what our legacy really is. Like Disagreeable said weeks ago, are y'all prepared to go to Columbus levels? Because guess what? That's not really us. That's not who we are.
Facts.
Okay.
Black people have a history of that shit. You're right.
We're not those kind of people. We're more in the vein of Dr. King.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Gandhi.
Let me ask you this though.
Mandela.
I can't co-sign Gandhi. He was a racist. He's an anti-black. Fuck him.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, the idea of it. But I gotta ask you this. This is gonna be you can get on this too, Wavy. This is gonna be a tough one. So how do you feel about Khalid Muhammad, who acknowledges everything that you're saying?
I don't really know much about his doctrine, to be honest.
You've never watched you never been around when we watched the goddamn him on Donahue on here?
Oh, you talking about the shiny head nigga?
Yes.
I fucked with. I believe, from what I remember, I believe I fucked with most of what he had to say. I think I did.
But he's also like the opposite of, he acknowledges all of them, but he's also like the opposite of the Gandhi, the Dr. King and all that. He says like, because we're the same people who after you like hose us down and let dogs bite the breasts of the women and bite your private parts and do all this and all this shit.
Right.
We're the same people that say, can't we all just get along because we're the chosen soft-hearted people of God? That's what he says. But he says like, we can't, that shit ain't working. You feel me?
Yeah, and mind you, I'm not obliged, like I said earlier. My grace doesn't override someone else's dishonesty and lack of integrity and all that. I don't have a tolerance for that type of shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about my grace at the expense of my own dignity, and my own fucking accountability to my people, my own responsibility as a community steward, right? I'm supposed to take all these people into the road and put them in harm's way.
Okay, let me ask you this:
in the name of my grace.
When does it become destructive? Like you can't make fun of people. When does it become fully destructive?
When does it become destructive? I think it becomes destructive after the corruption sets in. So it starts with a bunch of contradictions. Okay, and those contradictions start to enable corruption. Those contradictions leave room for exploitation, co-optation, all this shit, and then that's when corruption seeps in. And corruption is very insidious and corrosive. And you don't even see it happening, but before you know it, everything's fucking destroyed. That's kind of what a bitch does to a man. That's kind of what a bitch does.
But you don't think it starts because we're using the concepts like racial, like black racial prosperity and shit like that. Like I think it starts with the right is might mentality. The right is might mentality with like colonizers and like the way.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly,
like it starts with
That's what I'm talking about.
When people start. Okay. Well, I'm trying to say is like when people start thinking like, oh, well, if we conquer this, if we steal this land fair and square and use bloodshed and whatever, like that's where like it's
The
all good. Like
necessary evil. The necessary evil. Go back earlier when
I
this
think
thing is
that's
over. Go
dark
back
though.
and listen to it. I talked about the necessary evil and how much of an
Okay.
illusion that is, right?
Yeah.
Because you're standing on that value in a way that contradicts so many other things,
So,
right?
so necessary evil is like the same as the lesser of two evils. You know, that's also some bullshit.
Right. It's
But
all
like that's the thing
bullshit.
though. It is bullshit because that's how like for example, white nationalists, white supremacists, they justify, oh well, we had to colonize America for it to be as great
Yeah.
as it is. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
we had to hang those niggas. You saw Birth of a Nation. We
Right.
had to do
Like I
that.
don't fuck with that shit though. I mean, I don't know, maybe because I'm black, but I don't. You know what I'm saying?
But that's value distortion. That's what I've been talking about this whole time. I just want to drive it home. That's what I'm talking about. And then before you know it, you have a corrupted socio-cultural environment that pretty much insidiously destroys the fabric of a nation.
That's true. That's true. And we're seeing it now. I mean, all right, like only because like I'm trying to tie it into the Kanye thing for the sake of the stream, but even with him and what we were seeing with the rise of, I guess, anti-Semitism, which I think is controlled, but and the rise of neo-Nazism with Trump and Elon Musk, like I can't help but feel like that is a part of all that. Like it's no
Exactly,
coincidence
bro.
that he's adorning racial imagery, like a black man who's wearing a clan outfit. I can see that anger. I yeah, I give you credit for that. I see that anger.
And he's basically attached himself to a destructive pendulum. You know, shout out to
I can see that
Transurfing
because
Reality.
No,
I can
wait, you
see
got
that
mad
because
background noise.
I know. I'm outside. I'm taking a piss. It's windy and shit. But yeah, my bad. Well, I'll just end on this, right? I don't think that it's a coincidence that there is a rise of this far radical right rhetoric and neo-Nazism and anti-Semitism, quote unquote. I think it's all controlled, and I think he's a part of it, which is why I can't help but feel like this is performative to some degree, just to kind of tie it back in. My bad for the noise. I'm outside. My bad.
It's all good.
You all
So,
good?
Facts. I don't disagree with you, but I don't see how the how black guy in a clan uniform matches with the aesthetic of the anti. Because I feel like the anti-Semitism shit is real because they're trying to make prophecy out of nothing. You feel me? They're trying to make the last days
Right.
come. So,
Right.
but what
Bible,
he's
Jews,
doing,
and
I don't see how that fits within that agenda.
well, I mean, not in this instance because this is strictly like a black and white Freemasonic checkerboard kind of aesthetic. But as
It,
far as
No,
like
the clan always hated Jews too. Now
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They hated Catholics and Jews and shit like that. Which
okay,
ironically, their imagery comes from somewhat of a Catholic origin. But the point that I was trying to make is that with him in the Nazi shit, specifically him in the Nazi shit, is that at the time, like, is it any coincidence that at the time, the same year, mind you, Elon Musk does the Nazi salute. We have a bunch of like influencers that are adopting radical right, um, neo-Nazi aesthetics. Like
that
I just feel like he's a part of that.
it's definitely orchestrated to a level. Definitely orchestrated to a level. But here's what I want to say, and Magical Family, you can answer me from this perspective. You're saying it's destructive, and I'll agree with you. But who is it destructive to? Because black people don't like this, white people don't like it. Like who's rocking with him? Like I don't understand. Like
it's destructive to everybody. Nobody wins, bro.
I kind of like that.
That's the whole
Yeah,
point.
facts and hard. Yeah, that's
I
fact.
kind of like.
Everybody's tied up in this chaos.
You know what I mean? Do some magical shit. You know what I mean? And he looks like a like an executioner looking down on Act like some type of deity or something. You feel me? Act
Facts,
just
right?
some little.
When he said I'm evil. He said I'm evil. I don't know if you got to that part, but he said, "Yeah, I'm evil." Like an edgelord. Like he's really like. There's so many layers to this interview that people on the mundane level, as you like to say, will never interpret. But like, just like black man, Gemini, rapper with clan membership, Nazi swastika. Like he made a point to wear the Nazis. Even though he was wearing this clan shit throughout the entire clip or the video, he made it a point for you to see him in the iced out swastika chain. Like there's so many levels to this, and there's the satanic, but the Christian aspect, but then like there's all this duality. This whole thing is duality, and it's just this is why I feel like there's some higher power kind of in control of what he's doing, because there's so many levels of duality that we didn't even touch on. That like I don't know, it's just crazy to me.
No,
Go ahead, my bad.
it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me, and the symbolism has been used like over and over again. Like I'll mention Alejandro Jodorowsky again. His movies are like super esoteric. I'm sure Halo, you've seen Holy Mountain. You know? Did you still hear? You seen Holy Mountain?
No, I haven't seen Holy Mountain. I don't think I
But
have.
Kanye referenced Holy Mountain in his stage design
See, like
for
I
his
did
his
this
2013 stage design.
this
This nigga disagreeable, dog.
Deadass. No, I swear to God, he had the fucking during the Yeezus tour, which is when he started to get really weird with his art expression. He had a mountain on his stage, and it split into two, and he had a bunch of naked women dancing around it. It was some weird shit. I never seen Holy Mountain, but I know that that's what it has to do with. But I know now in my mind that like that's where him or his team have gotten the Holy Mountain thing, that theme from. So that's what I'm saying. Like everything is very deliberate with Kanye, which is why I can't say he's on the right side of history. But at the same time, he's saying a lot of truthful shit. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I just want to get Kanye his props right now because thinking about it, this nigga is the illest performer of the modern era. Period. Because I remember back in the days being at my old crib. Where the fuck was I? I just remember it being intense when he did that BET performance and did Power. I was like, yo, this is how you do a fucking show. This is how you put this shit together. Feel me? That shit was so deep. That was back when I was like before YouTube was like kind of still halfway the Wild West and shit like that. And niggas were doing the craziest esoteric breakdowns of Power, dog, to the point where I was like, yo, if Satan makes you rap this good, sign me up, dog. That shit was crazy. You know, it's like my diamond encrusted chain. The niggas on the esoteric shit were breaking it down like the diamond and this and that. Every syllable they were breaking that shit down, and it made
reality
sense.
is catching up with me.
Yo, and it made sense. I was like, yo,
I'm fighting for my custody as I look down on my diamond encrusted piece. Come on, man. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
And coming out with the 500-pound pharaoh, the Sphinx head. No, it wasn't the Sphinx. It was the
Horus.
It was like Anubis or some shit.
Horus,
It was Horus, but that's the Crowleyan.
I'm not even
in the Kemet shit. No,
I'm being pretty mundane with this shit. I'm like, that shit was just ill as a modern day performer. You know what I'm saying? Everything has just been like, it's just whatever, dog.
Dark Fantasy era Kanye was fire. But that's when he started to do the esoteric occult shit. Then that's what I'm saying. And I hate to sound like a fanboy on stream, but like I'm just saying, like this is all very canon to his character, which makes me believe that it's a character, it's performative, and it's destructive, like Halo said, because nobody really wins. Not even him, but like obviously, Yeezus era, because you're talking about Dark Fantasy era.
Okay.
Yeezus era was like 2 years ago when he started to incorporate like the real dark racial. Like he had a song called Black Skinhead on that album. He had a song called I'm a God on that album. He had a song called New Slaves. Those 3 songs, I think they're back to back. I forgot what order, which one, but like those 3 songs, Black Skinhead, New Slaves, and what was it? I Am a God. They're all in sequence. And I don't think there's a coincidence. And ironically, around that time, Mr. Agreeable, I don't know if you remember this or you were paying attention to this, or Halo if you were paying attention to this era, but he posted like these like hologram performances on 66 countries on 6 continents of the world. I think he did one in America, South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, Australia, or some shit like that. Like the occult level of racial imagery, as well as occult, Luciferian, Crowleyism, whatever, Freemasonic, went heavy that era. And ever since that era, I've noticed there's been a change. He's been like that how he is now, but it got worse. Not worse, but like it ramped up since then.
I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, I remember you brought up Devil in the New Dress earlier, and I think that's a very pivotal part of his trend towards where he's at right now. I would say, like, if you listen to the lyrics of that, he was starting to question his foundation.
Are y'all familiar with the songwriter's secret, or something that you know as the songwriter's secret? Or you've heard anything like that?
What, that John Todd shit? Is his name John Todd?
Yeah, basically like
With the witches going under there, like blessing the masters and shit like that, or doing whatever they do.
well, that, but not just that, but basically what it is that songwriters and artists, they write kind of cryptic Luciferian codes in their lyrics. Devil in a New Dress, that was a song where he first started referencing Satanism. And I think that's not a coincidence, because that 2010 was the era where he went fully into the dark racial satanic Crowleyan shit. But
Yeah, I
the
mean,
song secret
he was like invoking Satan
yeah,
on that song.
right. He says in one of the song in one of the I guess like a bridge, he says he said, yeah, girl, you act like Satan, Satan, Satan. And it was
Exactly.
very, you know what I mean? It was very odd at the time listening to that.
Like,
Now
bro,
I
you're
understand.
invoking an entity, dog, in your
But
timeline.
like Carly has been insidious in music ever since like the Beatles, or like the Laurel Canyon, all those bands that came at the Laurel Canyon and all that shit. And now these modern motherfuckers are trying to perpetuate it, like that dumb nigga Absol. You feel me? And other people trying to perpetuate the Carly shit. Jay-Z, Kanye, yeah, it's all insidious, and it's there right now. Oh, now I remember what I want to say earlier. I forgot when you were talking. We were speaking about what he's doing. I was like, if you want to get into the Talmudic side of it, is he's working off that magical system. You know, they don't really believe in like an afterlife, as you would say. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you ask Jewish people, they believe like heaven and hell. They're like, no, you just die and you live in people's memories. That's why you have to remember people. You know, so maybe that's why this iconic thing is so important. You feel me? This like by any means necessary imprinting on the memory. And he's just doing what they've always done. He's just doing trauma, repetition. He's just moving you here, moving you there, push, pull.
Facts,
and,
facts.
And he's being used, but he also knows what he's doing on a certain level, you know? Or he just really might be gifted and really tapped into this chaos shit and has it in his bloodline. It runs deep through the bloodline and shit like that. Because he says like when he was a kid, he had holding painting from when he was a kid. Like, oh, this is how I used to see the music and shit like that. Like, this it looked like this in my mind and shit like that. So he's dealing with synesthesia and being aware of it as a child. That's prodigy shit. You feel me? It is what it is.
It's funny you mentioned that, but Kanye has said that he had synesthesia, and I know a lot of artists like I know that's an industry marketing technique. Like they make artists say that, I can see colors. With him, I believe it. When he said it, I believe, because a lot of artists have said that, and I don't personally believe most of them, but with Kanye, I can believe that, because he actually, there was an interview with he did with MTV or something like that. I don't know, VH1 or something. Back in the day, like during like I think like 03, 04, 05, so it's like college dropout, labor station era. And he was showing the interview. I think it was Sway, somebody black, or Big Boy, I don't know, but it was back in the day. He pulled up paintings that he did when he was an art student, because Kanye's an art student, which is why it makes sense why he's into the occult. But he had paintings that he showed, and he says, and I never forget this, because as someone who is into that shit, like it resonated with me. But he basically said like, yo, when I used to draw, I used to think about music, and I would draw certain things in a pattern to represent the music in my head. I just, at the time, I wasn't that good at music, because I think he said he was still learning about like the MPC and the ASR, which are music production technologies. I'm sure you know, but that always resonated with me, because that I never heard a hip hop musician say that at that point, and everyone else started saying it afterwards. But I mean, who knows, right? I think there are other hip hop musicians that do that, but that's something that I would expect. Like
there's very few musicians period that are
Michael
doing
Jackson
that.
type shit to say.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, prodigies are rare. Everybody not supposed to be famous. You feel me? That's why why everything was so much better back in the days. There was such things as like one-hit wonders, and there was a lot of them back to back. Because if your second album wasn't good, you were out of here. Most people weren't prodigies. They didn't have mad albums back to back. That's why we have all this fire music from back in the days where you have like 1, 2 songs from the people from their one good album. Because they got them out of here and the new talent had to come in because they couldn't just make bullshit. They had to work with the real chaos energy, the talent. They had to do what they could do with it. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to like develop people and keep it moving. Boom, you got the wave right now. Boom, you got the wave right now. Bring you in. And I don't know if you can see the screen before I forget. I brought this up while you were talking. We're talking about prodigies and people who see music and shit. This is Bernie Worrell and the cover of this album, which is called All the Woo in the World. We know what woo is. You know what I'm saying? He has
I mean, I got woo on me.
Yeah, exactly. He has the spiritual woo, the financial woo, the X-rated woo, and the obscene woo. And if you know this guy's story, this guy's a true prodigy. Like when he was like 6 years old, he was doing his own renditions of Mozart and Beethoven. You feel me? He was accepted to the highest classical arts music schools in the country, and everybody around the fucking world wanted him. He just so happened, and this is what I was saying, shit can't really be coincidental that somebody like this just so happens to be living down the street from the barber shop that George Clinton in the parliament, the one that they owned, that they cut hair in during the day, and at night they used to just jam in there. This kid this kid was sneaking out the window to go to the barber shop to try to play with them because that music was more interesting and complex than the shit that he was being praised for in his mind. You understand what I'm saying? So he gets in there to the point where he's trying to play with them. They know what the level he's on. They're saying he's ill, but Bootsy Collins is saying, yeah, he could play, but you know he not funky. You know, let's get him out of here. Like he can play, but he's not funky. And that's like the intangible nigga shit. You feel me? He ain't wavy. You feel me? It's the intangible nigga shit. And before they were kicking him out of there, George Clinton's like, chill. Let him play. And as he's playing, he just starts saying colors to him. So in the middle of them jamming, he goes like, yo, play blue. Play green. And that's how they figured out that, that's like, when he started doing that, whatever he played from that, they were like, oh, he's ill. He's really the one.
Sounds like what the colors.
Yeah, they're saying he's really the one. He's got the shit. And this guy, like, the Moog synthesizer went to different levels because of him. The guy invented the Moog, and this guy went from classical piano to the Moog because he said he could do more with it. You understand what I'm saying?
It's funny, disagreeable. I know you're into the music, and I think Halo is, but let me know if you've ever heard this. But the Moog, it's called the Moog, but the Moog synthesizer. Excuse me. It changed the music because it was a synthesizer that hit a certain frequency that no other synthesizer and all like synthesizers come from Germany. You know, they were big into the occult. They studied the melanated science of music and sound types. Whatever, right? I just have to put that out there. These muddy waters. But so the Moog was a very specific instrument that was created at the time that it was, where the Parliament funk, like George Clinton, and a lot of the '80s music was made off of the Moog, either on a bass level. And I have a synthesizer. I have a virtual. Because I make beats, whatever. I have a VST version of the Moog, and it still doesn't sound the way the Moog makes me feel.
Yeah, it doesn't have that analog. It's not analog.
It doesn't. However, though, I'll say this. The point I was trying to make is that the Moog is that there's a reason why those late '70s to '80s records hit us so much.
It's almost got like a tube. It's almost got like a tube compression thickness to it that can't
that's
be
actually
like.
what they call it. Yeah, the tube
Oh,
compression.
dude, I'm like a
it's
real producer,
spiked up
bro.
and shit.
You might not have heard my music, but like I'm a real producer.
Oh shit.
So yeah, it's got like this tube compression.
I didn't know that. I also didn't know that. My bad. Go ahead.
You definitely heard his music before. I've done whole shows playing this nigga's music.
Yeah, but that tube compression on that thing is ridiculous, and it's got like a really full, thick sound.
Yeah, it sounds so good.
That can't be replicated virtually. It just can't be replicated. That's why like even with like my digital mixes at a certain point, we started running all of it through tubes, like just tube compressors, just to get that fullness because you just can't get that shit digitally.
Stream because
yeah,
I might want to get into that shit. But the point I was trying to make is that there's a reason why I think like it's funny because Kanye see it's funny because Kanye, one of his best collaborators, producer collaborators, he's his name is Mike Dean. He's an old white dude.
Yeah, Mike's
He
crazy.
makes
Have you seen his racks that he does live at like
holy
Coachella?
shit, bro,
He's sick, bro.
Mike. Oh my god, yo, Halo, you just okay. We have to talk about this another time, but like, so you know what I'm talking about. The fucking frequency. Okay, because
Bro,
I'm
have
just
you ever
excited about
seen
that shit. Oh my
the
god.
Boyer documentary for Watch the Throne? Have-
Yes,
do you
bro, that
remember
nigga's
do
a
you remember
genius. That nigga's a
do you
wizard.
remember do you remember how Mike Dean was at sound check with those with his stack of synthesizers, and he was
That
fucking
nigga's
around with the
crazy.
bass to the point they broke the bulbs. Like
Oh shit. Okay, I
they
think it's
had
one of
bulbs. Mike
those.
Dean broke the bulbs for the rack lights and Watch the
Oh,
Throne.
I bet. Here's the thing, Halo, and disagreeable, and people that are watching. I had a point to this. I know I'm kind of rambling, but like to
I'm
wrap it
nicer
up.
than this. I'm nicer than this nigga. I don't want to hear all that shit. So,
Okay, yeah, whatever. But anyway, there was a time. This is like some real life shit. I was telling my one boy, and we were smoking and drinking, whatever. I was playing him some Mike Dean shit. And I was like, and he was new to Kanye's music. This is like a couple years ago. He grew up with like Kanye's singles, but he didn't grow up like he didn't go into like dark fantasy, Watch the Throne, Yeezus, Cruel Summer. Like the when Kanye's music got evil and weird. I was playing one of Mike Dean's little like how like some producers do like little expeditions where they show how they make their music, they make their beats, whatever. Mike Dean was playing a bunch of different synthesizers, just crazy, just randomly. He was smoking a blunt, just I think he was drinking like some shit, like 40 or some shit. He was just playing a bunch of keys on his synthesizer, and it had like a weird electronic sound. My boy, I swear to God, bros, I swear to God, my boy was like, "Yo, you gotta stop playing this shit." I'm like, "Why? This is fire." Like, we're high, whatever. He was like, "Yo, for some reason, I feel like the sounds are attacking my brain." And I was just like, "What the fuck?" Yo, Halo, I swear to God, bro. Mind you, I'm mind you, bro. I'm wavy, and I'm just like, and he's a Kanye fan. He's a new Kanye fan. Like he like new Kanye. So I'm like, yo, you like Kanye's music, but like this is the guy that produces a lot of the synthesizer melodies and like a lot of the sound arrangements because Kanye works with a lot of different producers. Um, but
Yeah, Mike's a pillar of Ye's Sonics.
oh my
He's
god,
been a pillar of Ye's Sonics, and they fell out a couple of times. We're getting into
yeah,
some music nerd shit, but they fell out a couple of times, and Mike didn't even want to fuck with him after Donda. Like, you had the Ye album, which is I think one of the most beautiful things Mike ever
yeah,
did with him.
yeah,
But then like,
yeah.
when they got to Donda, it just got weird, and you can even see in like the Donda documentary, Ye just spazzing out on him in front of everybody. Mike's done a lot for Ye.
Bro, and Travis Scott and Kid Cut. Actually, another thing, like, the reason why Travis Scott is used for, in my opinion, the reason why he's like the
hold up,
actual
hold up, hold
teacher
up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Kanye did a lot for Mike Dean because he wouldn't have been working with all these other niggas unless it was for
Oh,
Kanye.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm
Yeah,
with you.
that's
But
true. That's true. Yeah,
value
that's true.
reciprocity.
That's
I
facts.
value reciprocity. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
That's facts. That's facts. Because before Kanye, and Mike Dean had success. He produced for a lot of not Tupac, a lot of the late '90s Houston rappers like Lil Kiki, Big Mo. Tupac was a part of that. He produced a lot for like I'm big into like the Houston rap shit because I have family in Houston. But like he produced a lot for the Houston rap legends, the synthesizers. Anyway, that's the point. Actually, Travis Scott, who's from Houston, he's a big uh Mike Dean contributor, and it makes sense that Mike Dean and Travis linked up because Mike Dean used to produce for not produce but used to play for Selena Quintana, if I'm pronouncing her name right, Mexican singer, sexy as fuck. I hate to sexualize a dead woman, but like, yeah. But anyway, So that's where
This
Mike
nigga
Dean.
wavy, dog.
I know. I'm rambling. I don't know. All right. So the point I'm trying to make is that, but the point I'm trying to make is that like Mike Dean on a sonic frequent level, on a songwriter secret level, Mike Dean has produced a lot of hits for Kanye, Travis Scott, Kid Cudi, a lot of the artists, Jay-Z, Beyonce, a lot of the high Illuminati artists. And I feel like that's what helped build the cult around Kanye, because him and Mike Dean have been associated with so many different artists that where when he does destructive, chaotic, agent provocateur type shit, it makes sense because the music is so good. And I think Mike Dean's a wizard at producing and the frequency of the Moog. And, my bad.
No,
I know
you're
I like
right, bro.
ramble.
I
My
get,
bad.
I
Yeah.
get, I get where you're coming from. I would say that the more potent the sonics, the more feasible the attunement.
Well, can you guys see the screen?
I can see Ye and Act, but that's about it.
You can still see Ye and Ack on the screen. All right, I gotta switch it over here.
This nigga Ye had Act standing up the whole time.
Right? They didn't let him sit down. Nothing. Nigga say you gonna stand up
So
behind him.
you're just mentioning him with all these Illuminati artists. This is him in the studio with Playboy Cardi. We're gonna let this play. It's only a minute 24 seconds. But look, saying maybe you know who these people are. You know who popular people are better than I do. But why is there a guy look like a goddamn Haitian voodoo priest with like an inverted cross on his neck, standing across from him, sweaty as fuck, channeling into this nigga? What's going on right now?
Oh,
Who
that's
is
Bro,
this?
these niggas are cold.
Play that shit.
Bro.
Let's let it go.
This beat so hard. Who made this? For real?
Yo, the fake vibe is so cringe, dog. Like, it's so
I have a
cringe.
lot to say. I have a lot to say on this, but I'm gonna let you cook.
I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna let it play. Dog. Fucking cornballs. I can't even watch this one. This is only a minute and 20 seconds.
Yo. It's crazy. It's crazy how you just played this shit. Because this is a song. This is actually Mike Dean's instrumental, like his synth parts to a song by The Weeknd called "Timeless," and it features Playboy Cardi. Now, Playboy Cardi is a super satanic artist. He pushes the zesty, heavy metal, satanic agenda for the young niggas. His music is fire.
Ye said he an agent now, so you can't say.
Yeah, exactly. And Kanye has worked with him. Kanye has like at least 4 songs with him, which are fire. And Mike Dean, I think, co-produced all of those songs, coincidentally enough. But anyway, the song that like he's playing in this clip, Disagreeable, he's playing a song called "Timeless" by The Weeknd, and The Weeknd also super satanic. Now he doesn't push the zesty agenda, but he pushes the satanic agenda.
Nah, he's zesty. He's zesty too.
I mean, whatever, but The Weeknd, he pushes a lot of occult, satanic symbols in his videos and stuff. Anyway, but it's funny because in that song, I forgot the lyric. I forgot how it goes, and the video was fire because like he had a bunch of like Colombian strippers, I think, or like they're from South America or some shit. I don't know, but he has a lyric where he says like I've been reincarnated, so I'm timeless. If I could be mistaken for like I don't know. But yeah.
This shit ain't surprising, nigga. Obama's Akhenaten. This is
No,
everybody.
it's not surprising, but it all correlates to the Kanye thing. Because Kanye plays with he's like he pushes a lot of the Crowleyan agendas that these other young artists kind of push. That's what I was basically trying to say. But yeah,
You're saying Kanye's been a bit of an underlord of a wicked principality. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, he's like he's again like he, okay. So I'll put it like this way: his Luciferian ideology makes him want to be God, right?
Sure.
Like he thinks like, okay, so, and he even said in that interview, in this exact interview, like, oh, I created these niggas, or he said like I suddenly, he said basically he's alluding to the fact that like a lot of the artists that are hot now, like Travis Scott, Drake, Kendrick, Travis, Playboy Cardi, they're all a part of what he has influenced. He looks at him, that's a Luciferian con concept, is that he looks at himself as a Luciferian god because all the music that he's influenced comes back to him, and all the music that he's influenced, or all the music that he does is Luciferian. So when I mentioned, when we talk about the Mike Dean thing, Mike Dean and his sonic approach to that versus what Kanye's done makes sense. Why it just makes sense. I don't know. I'm just connecting dots. Honestly, I'm just rambling. My
I
bad.
get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. You're saying basically Mike Dean's the connective tissue of the Sonics for
Why would an old
a
white
group.
man be? Why would an old white man be involved with so many young black artists? If this was like
So
Michael Jackson, like older era artists, it's different. But like these are all
It's not a
young
bad
black
observation. It's not a
artists.
bad
so
observation,
so
Wavy. It's not a
Mike
bad
Mike
observation.
so this Mike Dean guy is like the new Rick Rubin, and
Basically.
and
Yes.
maybe
In fact, he's
they
worked with
they
Rick Rubin.
they tried it with G Easy. Then they tried that with him first. Then they tried to make him a star because G Easy was a guy that was known for making beats and being behind the scenes. And then they tried to move him up into the Luciferian square and be a star. But you see how hard it is for them to do with white people?
G-Eazy's music is trash though. Like not like
Well, most music is trash. But you see how difficult it is for them to move a white, like, come on, Doug. It takes mad work for them to make a white person a star.
right.
Not,
You know,
not,
you're actually right.
not
You're
even,
actually right.
maybe not as much right now
Without
during
a
this,
white bitch. Without a white bitch.
during this TikTok era type shit where you can totally manufacture something, but they don't last. You feel me? Even with the shit that you can totally manufacture and propagandize, who lasts from that? like,
Exactly.
who like
Exactly.
they put them on, give them a show. Fucking there's Bobby Atloff or like the hot Tua girl and shit like that. Like,
It never lasts. It never lasts. There's no longevity to it because there's no substance. Because black people we are the center of. I hate to sound like this, but like we are the center of melanated, the chaos realm. We are the center of the chaos realm. That's why they need us to promote agendas. That's why they need our music, our culture. If a black girl does some crazy new shit, it goes viral. Everyone's gonna copy it. If a black artist starts doing a sound, everyone's gonna copy it. That's
but
why they need black artists.
it's even down to little like micro spheres. Like from what I understand, there's even beef on TikTok and little creators and shit like that because they say like black people just make stuff and then like white people just copy the trending and get popping and get the money off of it, like stupid dances and shit like that. So it's like this shit's pretty infinite, but it's been overly controlled.
But it's black people's fault though. We need to patent our chaos. If we're gonna create chaos in this realm, we need to patent it. I think that's what Kanye was trying to allude to in this interview.
You can't patent it because here's the thing: Kanye is like, this nigga. So I give him props, but this nigga ain't smarter than me. You feel me? Like, what we need to look at when it comes to making music and putting it out there and patterning that shit into society. He's pretty much trapped in the box. You feel me? How long has hip hop been going on? They said like 50-year anniversary of this bullshit. What nigga music lasts 50 years? We make shit every fucking 2 years. We got a new sound, a new style of music or something. We've been stunted ever since hip hop popped off. We've been stunted. We took it to the maximum level we can go to, and then they just take it and degrade it and keep it in the forefront. You feel me? Niggas should have been doing like 5-10 different types of music by now.
I disagree, but I resonate with everything you're talking about right now.
Yeah, you definitely already know. You feel me? But people don't even think about it like that. They don't even look like, oh yeah, rap has been. You think it's been around like this just so long because it's popular? Yes, it resonates with just about every human because it's tapping into the flow state, the chaos field. You feel me? But we've been doing that there are more than one way to skin a cat. You feel me? Everything that we were doing was doing that shit, and probably on a higher level where we were keeping love in the music. And the word
esoteric.
Yeah, and the word LOVE don't really mean shit. I'm just saying like the idea of it. You feel me? And let's just take it out of like people want to take that shit to like a simping mindset or something like that. No, even when you come to like the spiritual text and shit, the idea of surrender You feel me?
Right, right.
That's what the idea of love is. You feel me? There's danger in that. There's uncertainty in that, and all that shit. But there's possibility that something novel can be rendered out of that. You know what I'm saying? But you
Yeah,
go
and
ahead,
let's
Adam.
get esoteric. Let's get esoteric. Like, how many years we've been doing this rap format? Let's take it back to some of this channel philosophy, the pattern break. Why do we do the pattern break? We do the pattern break. I know one of the reasons why I do the pattern break is because I understand the law of impermanence. I understand that everything here decays, you know. So if you really want to keep shit fresh, you want to keep it prime, you want to keep it uh prosperous, life bearing, you gotta break the pattern. You can't stay in something too long.
Yeah, and that's the fact that are we staying in this of our own will? You feel me? People have been demoralized and they're pretty much psychotic. You're dealing with these people. You feel me? I want you
Exactly, bro.
the average person's out of their mind, so you don't know. You don't even know what you like. Everything you I don't know. They got that shit down packed. You feel me? Because I even heard that little catch you outside girl. She was dissing some other white girl, and I'm like, this is kind of fire. And I was like. And I know it's trash. I was like, yo, there's definitely something in this shit. Is it just her? Like, what is it? What is making this appealing in any way? You know what I'm saying? Like, they've chiseled out a little piece of what we can do, and they keep running with this shit and its negative aspect. And because we are truly like, we don't get too esoteric with it, but we're like chaos beings. We're like above all of this shit. The little petty. Let me say this. You might not agree with this, but my perspective is like my true higher self doesn't really care about all this shit. I'm just observing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So if it's interesting, it's interesting. I don't know
That's
how.
fair. That's fair. You know, I have a slightly different opinion of that. But what I will say
Speak on it,
is,
brother.
well, observing, like, what are you observing? Like, at some point you make a choice. Like for me, I made a choice. I chose to observe things that are conducive to development. But like that was a choice I chose, you know?
Well, if everything is impermanent, there's even development is impermanent. So I'm saying all this shit is just it's just so you're observing. It's just silly. You feel me? It's just like
But I
ooh.
know I'm moving, but I know that I'm moving towards truth, lowercase t. I know I'm always moving towards it, you know, that I can say with conviction.
And
I may not be able to nail down object like truth, capital T, but I do have a process and an observance ritual that keeps me moving towards it. Truth, lowercase t. No matter what the fuck is going on.
eh, if it's something that can be moved towards, you know, this
I do. I believe
I
that.
I feel like this reality is full of like a lot of random occurrences. As much as you try to be intentional with what you have going on, this is a reality of like random occurrences. You know, there's random things happening.
For
Um,
sure.
at a macro scale, this is very like controlled, pattern wise, and all that shit, and the patterns you decide to be in. But there's always now I'm saying it, I'm kind of thinking about it. Maybe they aren't random. They're just opportunities to for you to opportunities are presented to you to react, and then
Exactly.
you have control over how you react. You know.
Exactly. And there's things that have happened in my life that I did not plan at all. I did not anticipate those nights going down the way they went down. But I'm here to tell you right now, if those nights didn't happen, I would not be in the space of fruitfulness I have within myself.
Facts.
You know, so was that really random or was it a divine orchestration of my destiny?
Facts.
It's a coincidence. It's a coincidence of incidents. You feel me? It's just
I'm inclined to believe it's a byproduct of my grandmother praying over me every night. I'm inclined to believe that it's a byproduct of me asking God to bless me with insight and use me.
Yeah, you know, my grandmother definitely played over me too. So I believe there's something to that. You feel me? But
Yeah.
and also connect that also to and like Kanye seeing the seeing and painting the music and shit like that. And there are definitely people who are on different levels who are dealing with like uh, coming into this reality from jump
Word.
on some different shit. Like when when I was a kid, like sleepwalking and like literally fighting shit in my sleep, and I don't remember having nightmares and shit. You feel me? It's not like, oh my god, I was scared. Just I didn't give a fuck. You feel me? So, and this is what people were telling me. I remember waking up different parts of the house and shit, and like, and definitely I used to wake up like punching shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm fighting. You feel me? I know it was a demon. I know, but I'm not even scared of it. It's like vicious anger. As a little ass kid, it's like a 5-year-old kid and shit. And one time, my mom was telling me like, one time I'm at my grandmother's house and I'm sleeping and I'm like fighting in my sleep and she's like, oh nah, she's like, I'm like, yeah, I'm just kicking around. She's explaining to me like, no, you're not just kicking around. Like you have intent. Your face is like you're at war with something. Like you're something's going on. You feel me? It's not just like you're not having a nightmare because you're not scared. You're not crying. It's none of that shit. You don't even want to wake up.
Wait. Yo,
Interesting. Interesting.
disagreeable.
Yeah,
Which side of your family is Jamaican?
my mom's side.
Your mom's side?
Yeah,
Okay. Have you heard of something called like a doo-wop? A doo-wop? I don't know how they would pronounce it in Jamaican. But like
a dun-
Trinity, they say
uh,
doo-wop.
like a Dunkano or whatever or some shit like that. It's like a spiritual shit. But that's like
Yeah.
I barely know about that shit.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll
Yeah.
just say like sleep paralysis and like night terrors and shit like that. Like they like over there on the islands, they fuck with that shit. Like they know that
Yeah.
it can happen naturally. It can happen to be weaponized. Somebody's using it against you, basically. Sometimes it can be out of your own internal, some shit. But I'm just curious because like my mom's sister, she used to talk about that shit a lot. And she was from the islands, like straight from the islands. So like, yeah, Duwop or Duwapi, Duwop,
oh.
Duat.
So
You say Duat too.
you could be saying all types of things. It sounds like you're probably trying to say like a duppy, like a ghost or whatever, like a.
Yeah.
See, sometimes you're trying to say
Disagreeable.
it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you have any idea as to like what that what was going on with you, or like what that actually means as you like explored your life? I'm just curious, like what was actually
No.
happening, what you were moving through.
I thought about it, but I don't know about it. Like I thought about it, but I don't know. I remember that I don't know. I don't know when it stopped. It stopped at some point. But that one incident I was
All I
talking
know
about,
is
that was
Duat
that
is
one
paralyzed people.
that one incident I was talking about that my mom had told me about. That's what connected to your grandmother praying. She said like she told me that her grandmother came in the room and she didn't touch me or none of that shit. She just like started like praying over me. And she saw me like just slowly like come out of the fight, just go like
You see what I'm saying?
just chill out and go to sleep. You feel me?
Seriously.
So I was like, yeah, that's very interesting. And as far as like a sleep paralysis, like I never dealt with that. I've only had it one time, and I didn't give a shit. So that's very interesting to me because when I had it, I seriously didn't give a shit to the point where I went back to say I woke up, my eyes were open, I tried to sit up, I couldn't sit up. I was like, what the fuck? And then I tried to talk, and my voice was like I couldn't get my voice out, you know. And then I wasn't scared. I was there for a second. I was like, oh, guess I'm not supposed to go wake up yet. I just went back to sleep. So
That shit, that shit's crazy. That shit's
Did you
scary.
see a figure when you went through sleep paralysis? Did you actually see an entity?
who me? Who me?
Yeah, you. Yeah. Did you see an entity during the
I
sleep?
have.
Nah,
Okay,
nah.
what did that look like, Wavy?
Like a shadow. Like it was something like it was weird. Like it was very ambiguous or not amorphous, but like shit like that. Like I used to have a lot of super paralysis, and sometimes most of the times I would just not be able to move, and I would like feel weird, like something on me. But like there's times where I saw like blobby things in like corners.
Yeah,
'Cause I
there it
always had
is.
corners in my room, like blobby,
Yeah.
like type shit. I always
Yeah, you're not
and my
alone.
mom always
I
said it was a
hear
demon
that.
type shit.
I hear that from people actually.
I don't think it's any
Yeah.
coincidence that Kanye's wearing a Black Klan outfit either, though. Like that scares black people. Black people are, especially black people in the South. The Klan is associated with like ghosts. You know what I mean?
But here's what I want to say, like to connect to what we've been talking about. and even like the when I just thought about my sleep paralysis incident, and also so-called quote unquote dream warfare, spiritual warfare, whatever the fuck it is. That's why I feel like the negative aspect, the so-called, I don't got no empathy for a demon, dog. Like no, like the shit is fucking. I don't know how to explain it. Like you know how other people get sleep paralysis, they're scared of it, or there's some spiritual shit happens, they're scared of it. I don't know. That shit kind of turns me up. I'm not afraid of that shit in the least bit. But I'm not saying it's good. But I feel like I'm having a better time than motherfuckers who be scared to go to sleep and shit like that. I'm like, yo, if it's beef, it's beef. Nigga, what the
Exactly,
fuck
bro.
up?
And it's levels, bro. Like, look at research Archangel Michael.
All right, Chingo. Can you see the screen? Have you ever seen this
Mm-hmm.
before? You seen
No,
this
I haven't
before?
seen this. I
This
haven't
was
seen
like
this.
a. They said there was a ghost in Spanish Town. Like look at
Mm.
it. Like look at this clip right here. There's a few of them.
I'm sorry.
He because this kid was saying that the ghost, the kid was saying the shit that was fucking with him was his friend. You know what I'm saying? There was a kid who
Yeah.
passed away, and he says his friend just be fucking with him, grabbing him and doing shit. And you know everything can look fake, but some of this shit looks crazy. Like here's
No, it's probably legit, bro.
like look at
This
this
is
one
real
right here.
stuff.
I think this is the craziest one. Is this it? Like he
Real
just
stuff. This is that pan-dimensionality we always talked about.
turn the light back up. How's
Yeah,
he
there
do
it
that?
is.
Is that nigga a good actor?
Bro.
Come on, dog.
No, bro. No, bro. There you go. There you go.
So that's Jamaican shit. We talking about Jamaican ghosts and
Yeah,
shit like that.
realms are permeable. I'll just say that, realms of existence are permeable. And then, they're operating on different levels. Some of them are psychosomatic, some of them are, toying with your emotions, see these gates of being able to possess you through your emotions and through trauma and shit, anchor points in your timeline. They fucking exploit those.
Archangel Michael, the untold truth. This white boy looks soft, boy. This white boy.
Yeah, no, not so much. And these are just
White
visual
people.
representations of them, yeah, but like you really look up the studies of Archangel Michael and what type of work Michael does on the astral plane, you'll see that he ain't no bitch.
Uh, let's go to chat GPT. Uh, uh,
And I know we took this stream 1,000 places, but this was a good ass conversation to me.
what is Archangel Michael's job on the astral plane? He's a protector, defender, spiritual warrior, healer, and guide, keeper of divine justice, assisting with ascension, communicator, and intermediary, helping souls in transition. Archangel Michael is off
You'll
the.
always see him. You'll always see him depicted with the sword, and his foot on the neck of a fucking snake.
No, I just noticed wavy dropped up out of here. Oh shit! I thought I was showing it. I was bugging. I wasn't even showing this on my other screen. I thought everybody was seeing the Jamaican ghost. It is what it is. I guess that's time. It means it's time to wrap up the show. I'm up here. Thought I'd make it through the Ye interview, but how the show usually goes. I don't care. You know what
I'm saying? I mean, we did kind of get to the underlying factors at play, though, and anybody worth their salt will really actually probably appreciate this conversation in relation to the original video.
Yeah, got to the crux of the information. Glad you came up here. You had something to say, obviously. You know what I'm saying? So,
Absolutely.
you feel me?
Well, thank
Halo's
you for
not.
having me, bro.
Magical Family's not going for any apathy or nihilism. What's another big word? Um, demoralization of self.
I'm anti-corruption. Anti-corruption. All about transparency, accountability, and good governance, so we can govern our fucking selves. You know, this is the beauty of a democracy. We online talking about this shit and deciding what we want to invest our energy to. And I hope somebody benefited from our discussion tonight.
Everybody, freedom of expression for everybody. We can say what we want. Kanye can wear a Nazi iced out chain. I never thought the first time I saw an iced out Nazi chain it would be a black man wearing it. So that's interesting. That's cool.
I think it looks kind of fly, to be honest, but that's another conversation.
You know, and I like he came straight with the Nazi shit. He didn't make it the other direction. He said, "Nah, this is a spiritual shit from India." he's like, "Nah, this."
Yeah,
Is
what I mean, he just leaned into it. I'm just like, all right, bro. I mean, you want to pretty much attach yourself to anything that's got motion. I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, we usually end the show with the ladies and shit, but I'm not in the mood. We'll do another show later. This is Disagreeable. I'm Disagreeable. We're Disagreeable. Shout out to Crippy, Wayne Wallace, Child of God, Flying Low, Carmen, Halo, Wade, anybody else who passed through. Do YouTube stuff, hit the buttons, and